Hello again, everybody. This is Dax's Downtime, the in-between show between shows between shows. Tonight, I'm supposed to have Peter Hades, wherever he might be on, but for now, I have two other lovely people on with me. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
So that would be Prospero and Dork.
Is that a question?
Yeah, that would be Prospero and Dorky. And is Dax not there?
Dead air.
I love it. Well, hello, everyone from both sides of the earth. And how is everyone
How
this
goes
evening? It goes well here in Virginia. We're so proud of our governor and lieutenant governor and
don't
attorney
get me started
general.
on those people.
They're just charming, and everybody's focused on the shiny metal object of the blackface and the accusations of sexual misconduct, instead of being focused on the fact that our governor thinks it's okay to kill babies.
Yeah. Oh no, that wasn't him in the KKK hood of the blackface. Remember, it wasn't actually him in the picture, but he did go to a costume party in blackface, like dressed as Michael Jackson. He admitted to that for some fucking stupid reason. And did you see he can? Sorry.
What I loved is that he had to ask his wife the name of the singer that he loved so much that he had the glove and the spangly jacket, and it's like, what was his name again? And it's like, could you get a little less?
And that part where someone asked him, "Oh, can you still do the moonwalk?" And he's looking around for space, considering it, and he looks at his wife, and his wife's like, "Just don't do it."
Yeah, please. Although there were people on Twitter, and I had to agree with them just a little bit. They said if he stays in office, please God, let him have to do that press conference every single day. Because it was far too entertaining. Oh, now we have multiple Bat Boys.
Yeah, well, I blame I blame Steam, because I was trying to download South Park's sequel, their Fractured Butthole game. But apparently, it's being a butthole, and every time I try to do anything with it, like even pause it, it turns off my computer. So I'm not even going to touch Steam at all until we're done doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Steam on while you're streaming.
Oh, it's usually not a big process on my computer. In fact, my upload speeds are usually really good. I just wanted to, make it stop just in case, because I'm going to have somebody else on, if it's going to be more bandwidth, yada, yada. I was trying to be responsible. And again, like, no.
I love it. You get kicked from your own Hangout.
I know, a couple times.
Well, we managed to, mock the administration in Virginia.
Ooh.
There was very little dead air with Dork and me.
Well, that's why I chose wonderful co-host tonight, because you guys are awesome at that.
You could say so.
Well, there are two girls in a room. I mean, eventually you'll end up killing each other. So
Well, that would take a bit of work and a rather long air flight.
I think it can be done. You just need a bunch of personal chargers, and while you're flying across the Atlantic, have really good Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, it'd be interesting being that I'm disabled in that, but I reckon it'd be a good fight.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, she'd look at me and do the little girl voice, and I'd be like, "I can't hit you," and then I'd get decked.
Yeah, I was gonna say that she's stabbing in the kidneys or something.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized I missed the Streamlabs because I wasn't paying attention as I was sorting through things earlier. Somebody named GeoDZ. I don't know who that is in our little group, but he said, "Thank you too, Dex." I don't know who it was, but he donated fiber. So if you're out there, I appreciate it, and I'm sorry I missed it. I wish I knew who that was. I don't recognize the name as our normal chatters.
Huh. It's kind of a pity.
Yeah, it really is, because I normally don't expect a whole lot on a Monkey stream, because it's Monkey's stream, and I'm okay with that. So when it comes through, I'm usually aware of it, but I guess Streamlabs didn't update, so now it should be okay. So that sucks, so I feel kind of bad.
Hey, but you got cash.
I did. I got some Dosh.
Might as well
Oh
enjoy it.
gosh, I just sent you a picture of what my son did to the fucking charger. Dax.
Oh, well, I will look in just a second. I'm going to load up Discord again since that turned off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
like,
Skittles Cash. Damn right. Love my Skittles.
Taste the rainbow.
You know, I actually know of a porn star who has a tattoo down by her special parts that says Taste the Rainbow.
That reminds me of something so fucking disgusting I can't even get into because I know fucking stories about that shit.
I kind of want to know more.
Yeah, don't tease us. If we're gonna have to think of all the disgusting things it could be, it's probably better we know.
I literally have a bowl of popcorn, so
I'm not sure I want to get you like demonetized.
Hey, I'm not monetized yet anyway. All my monetization goes through Streamlabs, so I'm okay. Bring it on.
Okay. Oh, I have stories from the front hole and the back hole. Which one would you like?
Prospero?
Front hole, I think.
Okay.
Well, one from the front hole, right? So this guy was eating out this chick. She put Skittles up her twat, right? And she put a bunch of Skittles up her twat. It was like 5 or 6 or something. And like he was eating them out of her, and he kind of counted one more that was in there that was a bit off, but he didn't think about it.
Oh no!
It turned out she had HPV, and something came off, and he ate it. And yeah, don't do that shit.
Oh dear, he better look out for cancer later in life.
Well, you know, it's more men are carriers than showing the symptoms. Lucky for men, but it can cause some cancer in small cases.
Wasn't that supposed to be how Michael Douglas got his throat cancer?
Ugh.
Was HPV? Yeah, so it was like, okay. Let's not share that on the, wide world of wacky news.
All right, so yeah, that was the front hole story. How about a back hole story?
Well, a back hole doesn't so much involve Skittles, but corn.
Oh, dear God. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Bring it on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Before that, hang on. Evolved Potato donated $3.55 on the Streamlabs. Says, tell Dorky to stop telling Monkey about bogan words and names.
Why not? It's fun.
I think it's hilarious.
I'm going to mute myself because this is actually, it's a pity Bear isn't here if it involves corn. Just saying. But have at it, Dorky.
Oh, gosh. So this guy was doing anal with this fat chick.
Already a great story.
And they weren't using a fucking rubber or anything. And like the next day he was really, really sore and shit and red and sore. And he went to the doctor. And it turns out he had a piece of corn stuck like in his fucking hole. Right? He couldn't piss. It was too painful to piss because there was a piece of fucking corn stuck in there.
Oh my God.
You would have thought that starch would have helped it keep it a little less stiff.
Well, that rehydration thing.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, poor guy. How do you manage?
Oh, how do you explain it?
I don't know, but people have to explain weird shit all the time when they go to the fucking hospital when they have something miraculously stuck in places that they shouldn't be, like they fell on it, or like there was.
Oh no!
What happened? Where'd she go?
She did all of it.
No,
grief.
The story was getting good.
This is like there she is. Hallelujah. I was like,
all
this
right.
is the haunted
story.
God.
I didn't do it.
I got kicked off of fucking Hangout. I was going to say, it didn't have a warning sign. I didn't know I could masturbate with my phone and stick it up my twat. It got stuck and I had to go to the doctors, so now I'm suing the phone company.
I can't believe that lady has the gall.
Oh, I mean, it's like, okay, do you actually have to say don't stick your phone in your orifices?
Hey man, there've been other weird warning signs on ships. You know, people are fucking stupid because we're saving the idiots.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my God, though. I mean, it's the idea that you've got to warn people about putting your phone. Odd. You know, did she just discover the vibrate function on the phone and thought, hey, I can save money?
Some people actually do use it. They carry around like little plastic bags and put their phones in it.
Oh yeah, there are apps for this shit.
The only time we've ever done that is when we have been on a boat, actually sailing, that the cell phone was in a bag.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, yeah, we did that back in the day.
No.
Oh, my God.
Because back in the day, we didn't have cell phones, dear.
Yeah, but you had rotary phones with, like, the crank. You could always just remove the crank from the phone. And
for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah.
That's no. Bad Dax. Where's my newspaper emoji?
Oh, Jenna's got it. She likes smacking me with the rolled up newspaper.
Yeah, every now and then it's needed. Bad puppy.
It'll only get worse from here.
Mm-hmm.
3 Europeans came to America. They all got captured by Native Americans and they want to kill them. But the Europeans begged to have their lives spared. The Native Americans agreed to not kill them on one condition. The Europeans must go into the forest and bring back a fruit, and they will be informed of what to do with it. So the first guy comes back with a peach. The Native American says, "Shove up your ass. If you laugh, we will kill you." So he shoves the peach up his ass, and he laughs. And the Native Americans kill him. The second guy comes back with a grape. The Native American tells him the same thing. He laughs, and the Native American kills him. They both see each other in heaven. The first guy says to the second guy, "Oh, waiting. I had a peach, and peaches are fuzzy, so that's why I laughed. But you had a grape. What happened?" The second guy says, "Oh, yeah, I was doing just fine until I saw the other guy come back with a pineapple."
Oh, God. Thank you, Shio.
That's why I like Shio.
Yeah, that's that kind of cleared the corn out of my system.
Yeah, but now you got to think about a pineapple up somebody's ass.
Yeah, easier to do. I watch Ghost Poo.
So just imagine Drunkle's head up someone's ass?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's up his own.
Probably true. Speaking of pineapple, I'm drinking strawberry pineapple smash, a Mio flavor. It's delicious.
How dare you?
It's delicious.
You drink the blood of his brethren. Oh my God.
He deserves it. He knows what he did.
Oh, shit.
Or what he's about to do.
Yeah, Hitler and Little Nicky. I always remember that scene when somebody says pineapple or Hitler. My first thought is Little Nicky.
Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome.
Popeye's chicken is a shiznit. You don't like Little Nicky?
Never seen it.
You should. It's harmless, which is the
what I just said was a line from Little Nicky.
I don't know.
It's pretty good.
I'm not sure it's all that harmless.
I mean, it corrupted the youth of America. I mean, what else do you want?
Oh, okay. That sounds pretty good then.
Yeah.
I'm all for corruption.
It was great. It's the whole plot is the three kids of the current Satan, who's actually like the son of the original Satan, are being told that they're going to be chosen amongst one of them to be the new ruler of hell for 10,000 years. Well, current Satan says, "Yeah, none of you are ready for it, so screw that noise. I'm going to rule again for 10,000 years." So the two stronger of the kids, who aren't obviously Adam Sandler, say, "Screw that." They exit the gates of hell, and that causes current Satan to start falling apart. So they got to send Nicky to go up there because he's the only one who can handle fighting other, devil children. And that's where it all goes from there. Is get them all back to hell at the same time, so their father can be restored.
Okay, that sounds like a interesting plot. I'll add it to my list of movies I've been told I should see.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's completely harmless. As far as an Adam Sandler movie goes, it's actually pretty tame.
Oh, you forgot to tell me it was Adam Sandler.
I mentioned him twice already.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, well, it's still all right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm old. I forget things the second I hear them.
Well, we'll give you a little bit of leeway for that.
I love Monkey talking about old people and driving, and he's talking about somebody who's 62. And I was like, dude, that is around the corner for you. You know, be careful.
Yeah, be careful going around corners. You might crash into somebody.
Oh, God.
God. That's just, I was glad my husband was not awake to hear that. He would not have been best pleased. It would have been, we're going to take a road trip to Michigan, and then I'm going to take Monkey out in the turbo and remind him that I can drive.
Guess what, guys? Great news. My kid is now in bed.
Hooray! Break out the
Party time. Time for the hardcore shit, man. I'm drinking some water.
Yeah. None of that apple juice shit.
Kills you.
Did you trip over any good news stories, Dax?
I really haven't had a chance to blaze through Twitter right now.
Yeah,
I'll find you some good stories.
Pat, that's a spoiler. I wasn't going to ruin that he was part angel. Come on.
Would you like some news stories or some funny, stupid, gross Reddit stories? Choose.
Oh, God, Reddit. Fine. We go with Reddit. They usually have some good stuff.
Okay, so we have neckbeard stories, we have choosing beggars, we have entitled parents, we have like a bunch of like which sort of category would you like?
Surprise me.
Surprise you. Okay. I'll find it now.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
What?
No, just Reddit.
Oh, yeah, Reddit is so...
It could be anything. It just could be anything.
Reddit is a certain kind of special.
It is. Every now and then there'll be something absolutely magnificent that, you know, that by the time you get through the thread, the final comment is worth the read.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Tumblr, unless you were on the turf wars side of Tumblr, which is where I figured it was just the horrible place where brain cells went to die.
Meanwhile, I'm staring at cute animals on Twitter trying to find stories.
There's also fat people logic or stupid people Facebook.
Ooh, stupid people Facebook sounds good.
I'll go for that shit.
Because I haven't been on Facebook in so long. I'm kind of missing the stupid.
I halfway forget my password every once in a while when Facebook is like a thing. It's like, hey, go check this out on Facebook real quick. Oh, shit, what did I put it as?
Yeah, I still, I mean, I haven't closed my Facebook account because I used it to keep up with people who live out of town. But beyond that, I just, Twitter's easier for me to walk away from.
Yeah.
Facebook was kind of like begging you. Somebody would post something just so stupid that you were obliged to respond. On Twitter, you can look at it and go stupid and flick. You know, it's gone.
Sure.
Although Twitter has also proven to be a cesspit of cancer.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Certain things you try to weigh into. Fortunately, I got block-botted by the people that annoy me the most. So, and I don't really hate follow anybody. I figured that would be the smart thing. Keep the blood pressure down. It's just if someone I follow decides to get engaged. Like Monkey with the idiots.
Yeah, right. If you find an idiot, you got to engage them for a little bit. But if they won't figure it out or they won't like get with the plan, you just got to drop them. And some people don't know how to drop them. Yeah.
It was to just walk away. Like Monkey said today on his Twitter that the mute button works. It's like, I don't want to hear anything more from you. Go away, please. Go away.
Yeah, I have no interest in too much kind of drama.
Yeah, the drama thing over the last month, I think, has been just exhausting. Just hearing about it is exhausting because the factionalism is like, ugh, please.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to go away either. It lasts a little bit too long for my taste. And that's funny because internet time's supposed to be like in, out, and done, but they just keep staying on dumb stories forever now.
Yeah, and it's been a cascade of, this gets added to this, gets added to, oh, dear God, look what Ian Miles Chong did. That it was like you just think something's beginning to die down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that spiked up. And I thought, oh, holy night, if I could go a week without hearing some of these names, I'd be relieved.
I'm just not as into the drama as the rest of the guys seem to be, and it is what it is. I like it sometimes. It's fun to hear people's opinions on it all, but me, I'm not really a drama guy.
Yeah, I like it. Your boy Pat said, "Hate following is a pain. Save your sanity." What's left of my sanity? I'm still amused by the person that thought I was a cunt for thinking Fidel Castro didn't know anything about economics. It's like
he kind of didn't, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Cuba's a paradise, don't you know?
Yeah, sure it is.
Best healthcare in the world, according to that land mammal known as Michael Moore.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't know. It's kind of interesting to see a manatee out of water with a neck beard. It's not good. Oh, dear God, I wonder what dork he's digging up.
Oh, I got linked to something from, the Leathery Old Bastard. With Dark Jokes Reddit, or subreddit, whatever you want to call these things. I have no idea what to call Reddit shit. So what's the difference between a dead kid and a guitar? Nothing. I figure both. God. Oh. This might be a favorite place for me now.
Oh, that speaks volumes about you, Dax.
Yeah. Oh, nothing. Eric Clapton will use both to sell records.
Oh,
that's wow.
Yeah. Ooh. Too soon.
So messed up. I wonder if I could keep doing this, just like doing dark jokes for 2 hours and see how it rolls.
Oh, you never know.
Oh, this one's a little poignant for us YouTubers. Why didn't the Japanese man get a high five? Logan Paul left him hanging.
Oh my God. Okay. You talk about internet drama. That was just such a ridiculous thing.
He really just needs to be banned.
In some ways you don't want him banned because you want to know where he is.
Yeah, I gotta keep tabs on him.
It's some people, it's better that they just stay doing their dumb shit because you're like, okay, good, we know where they are.
Mm-hmm. And
in the event that they need to be taken out back to the woodshed, so to speak, or nuked from orbit, you can locate them. But that was just like, hey, we're gonna go to the suicide forest. Oh my God, we found a body.
It's like, what do you think? Why do you think it was called Suicide Forest, you retards?
Oh man, they were all laughing about this fucking dead guy, and like they totally went there on purpose to find a dead body. They weren't just fucking camping out there, and they're just like, oh, we didn't know what to think when we stumbled upon this dead body, and we didn't expect it. Blah blah blah. It's a continuous lapse in my judgment.
And that's
whatever.
Yeah, that's assuming he ever had any judgment.
I'm under the impression that he's not completely stupid. He just thinks that nothing's going to touch him because he can claim to be stupid.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, except, at least PewDiePie is funny.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And he kind of earned his huge following now after the apocalypse, all the nonsense that's been written about him. I mean, he isn't always funny, but you're never going to see that kind of crap out of him.
Right.
He's never going to pull that stuff.
He doesn't have to.
No. He can just have a conversation with a frog. Or so just
Do you want to hear an anti-vax mom complain on Facebook?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Today I had to bury my sweet baby girl. She would have been 6 years old today. She died last week after contracting the measles she got from the MMR vaccine. This has been a wake-up call for me. After being against vaccines my entire life, my family conned me into vaccinating my baby girl. And what did it lead to? She died from the very thing the doctors told me the protect against. That didn't make sense. A mother always knows what's best for a child, and no doctor can tell me otherwise. And then the comment, this is not what happened, and you know it. We told you from day one what could happen if blank wasn't vaccinated. Instead, she contracted measles like we warned you she would. We told you to seek medical treatment for her. Instead, you tried to cure her with essential oils. When that didn't work, we finally thought you caved when we heard you were taking her to a doctor. But instead, you said you finally got her a vaccine shot. A vaccine shot after she had the measles for 3 weeks. Vaccines take up to 3 weeks to start working. It can't stop something that is already happening to you. Blank didn't die because of the vaccine. Blank died because you believed some hippie Facebook group and lies and snake oils. Instead of a medical doctor with years of training and experience. And then another comment says, would hope you get measles, but I know you can't because you are vaccinated. So continue to live with the very immunity you denied your dead childhood.
Wow.
Jerk. Oh my god, I hate people like that.
Yeah. Insane people logic. Atheist, if God isn't real, how do you explain walking on water? Can you walk on water like Jesus? Yes. Show me a video of you walking on water. I don't need to. You just need to have faith that I did.
Wow.
I would just like film myself walking across a frozen pond.
Yeah, really.
Tell me again that I'm not walking on water.
I'm Jesus, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's like those anti-vax people though, honest to God,
I know.
Every time now that I've met blind press, I hear that story. You know, I'd lose my mind. And I mean, it already pissed me off because a friend of my mother's had a daughter who was completely deaf because when my mom's friend had been pregnant, she had been exposed to the German measles. And so her daughter ended up not being able to hear simply because someone, and this was far enough back that not everybody was vaccinated, but we were working on it. It was a straight mission to eradicate as much as possible these diseases that can, harm children. I mean, I worked with a woman who had terrible eyesight because of the febrile seizures that she'd had from having the measles. And you let your kid go untreated with the kind of high fever that measles can cause. At this day and age, I mean, you're not in the middle of Somalia, for fuck's sake.
My older brother, he was born so many weeks early, and he actually contracted German measles. Like, my mum took him out to the shops, and it was like a week before he was supposed to get the fucking vaccine. Sorry, I dropped my headphones. For German measles. And now he has scars everywhere, obviously. But because of how much it fucked him up, he has an intellectual disability. Like, he has to live at home with my parents until, like, I have to take care of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so German measles can fuck people up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the measles can. We saw whooping cough start coming back because we have people entering the country who haven't been vaccinated. Plus, you have the anti-vaxxers. So you've got that double whammy risk. And the son of a friend of my husband's and mine, he's 30 some now, but a couple of years ago, he developed a cough and it wouldn't go away. And he goes to the doctor and the doctor's like, you have whooping cough. Did you get another booster shot at any point? And he's like, no, I thought I was done, after the re-up with college. They usually hit you again with everything just to make it at 18 to make sure you're good and immune. And I was like, what? And then I started hearing about all these outbreaks of whooping cough. Well, way back in the dark ages, when my father was a small child, his little sister died from having measles and whooping cough back to back. She could fight off one, but couldn't fight off the other. And it killed her. And that was before we had vaccinations. And now look at Los Angeles. They've got a typhus outbreak.
Yeah. Typhus. I mean, come on.
I was expecting a cholera outbreak in San Francisco because of all the fucking shit on the street. But I wasn't expecting typhus in LA.
Oh my God.
It's just,
yeah.
It's like, why are we going backwards? Why are we going backwards?
Whooping cough was almost eradicated here in Australia. It was getting lower and lower reports of whooping cough. And then the fucking anti-vaccine came. And now whooping cough is on a massive, massive fucking rise. It is everywhere now just because anti-vaxxers came on the scene. It was almost fucking gone.
Yep. And the thing is for adults, they need to remember to get a booster so that they can't contract it from being around a child and then go give it to a grandchild or something that is too young to get the vaccine.
See, my mother-in-law is a fucking insane hippie, and she's in this hippie cult now. No joke. She's actually in a fucking cult. And she's seeing my fucking son less and less, but that's like the cult thing, And my husband was never vaccinated, never had ibuprofen, never had paracetamol, never had any sort of Western medicine. Oh, I'm sorry. He was vaccinated through homeopathy.
What?
So,
wow.
Yeah, that's my mother-in-law is a fucking crazy hippie. My husband never had Western medicine. The first time I gave him cold and flu tablets when we first started living together, he was high as a motherfucking kite because he'd never had paracetamol, ibuprofen, or codeine before. Yep. But I made my husband get a fucking whooping cough vaccine before my son was born.
Oh, it's a good idea. I mean, it's never too late to be vaccinated.
Oh, yeah. And I'm so glad my husband agrees with me on the whole vaccination thing.
Well, especially, the farther you're away from somebody who's absolutely slap-damn nuts, the more you realize how slap-damn nuts they are.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Doing well,
I was waiting to the conversation in before I said it. Hi.
Oh, butt in if you feel you got it, man, because it's the only way to get a word in around us sometimes.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just woke up not too long ago. Like, I'm just so used to it now. I gotta work around 10 o'clock, but it's like I'm so used to doing like early morning breakfast shifts. But today I got like a late one, so yeah. But I'm still wide awake.
Oh, I hate early morning. The only way I could be up in the mornings if I've been up since the previous night, because I hate mornings with a passion.
I'm so used to them now. Like even on my days off, I'm up around 3 o'clock.
Jeez.
No, I'm too much of a night owl. Couldn't do it.
So I just got up and I just uploaded my video that I had made last night. I was going to do it last night, but I fell asleep.
Ooh, you got a Pat video today then?
Yeah, like I'm just basically like skimming over the whole Dr. Victoria Bateman thing and how everything that she's doing right now.
Doctor.
She's the nude anti-Brexiter and shit.
So cringy, and that push is so bad.
Okay, here's my thing though. It's like I actually heard the speech because somebody had downloaded like the audio version of it. That doesn't involve watching her walk around on stage naked. Mm-hmm. And I listened to the whole entire thing, and I'm like, I don't know a damn thing about Brexit. So I had to ask people, like Irate Bear now. and like what's all going down. And I've seen like, like little documentaries going around, but I still don't grasp to it because I just don't, it just doesn't pique my interest. So I listen to what the people who are against, who are for Brexit and all that right there. I listen to, Dr. Victoria Bateman, if you want to call her a doctor. I listen to her arguments, and I'm like, all right, both sides got like these interesting arguments and things like that. And this lady, like what she's talking about, she's got an intelligent mind, but it's just a simple fact that she chose to get butt ass naked that a lot of people are just, basically dogging her on.
Oh, real quick, T-Tron donated 2, thank you very much. Said, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel, might as well sit back and watch the world burn and roast some s'mores. It's going to be an interesting year. Also, hi, Pat.
Hey, what's up, dog? But yeah, it's like I get what both sides are saying. It's just like, I heard a lot of other people who are basically, against Brexit, basically say the same thing that she's saying. Only difference is they chose to keep their clothes on. I think she just basically did this because she getting butt naked, was going to get her so much attention, and that's exactly what it's done. Mm-hmm. Besides, being clowned on social media, now she's getting all these interviews, she's going on these radio shows, and she's still continuing to parade around naked because she knows people are going to talk about her because of how she looks. Basically, because she got that 70 Bush thing going on right now.
Oh God, it's so bad.
Which I'm not gonna dog about her nudity and shit like that. Like, if you like being naked and shit like that, go ahead. I just hate people like, especially like these feminists who act like, oh, they're getting naked for a cause when all it really is, they're just being an exhibitionist. Like, own that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all she is. And Christina Hoff Sommers has been dragging her on Twitter.
Yep, I've been seeing it.
And it's been entertaining because it's like, one of the things I love about Dr. Summers is the way she'll say, look, dear, with that kind of mom tone. Mm-hmm. And you can just hear base mom just coming out.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that.
Honey, this is not the way to do it. Okay, please put your clothes on. It's just, I mean, if the taxpayers funded that woman's education, they deserve a refund. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Not to mention the 70s porn bush, which is like, put that thing away.
Well, I'm not gonna dog on that because I grew up during the 70s, mid 90s, and that was popular back then. So it's like, me and myself is like, I think she's a beautiful woman, and hey, I'd hit it, but that's just me. Judge me all you want. Yeah, but it's like it doesn't help our argument though, because everything that she's saying, many other anti-Brexiters that I've seen, they're saying the exact same thing. So it's like, what makes her different other than she's saying it butt naked?
Yeah, and you're spot on. All she is an exhibitionist.
Yes, she want to admit that.
Yeah, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, and I mean. Owen Jones has said the same stuff. I mean, all the anti-Brexiteers have. Yeah. It's just Owen Jones does us the favor and doesn't take his clothes off, which does not make him better than this woman at all. But because I really, really don't want to see that naked. I really don't.
I have a post from Insane People Facebook.
Uh-oh.
When family tries to guilt trip when family tries to guilt trip you into letting them come to your fully vegan wedding, even though they are omnivores. Just for some context, some family members were told they are not invited to my wedding because we don't want to host murderers at our wedding, which is supposed to be one of the happiest days of our lives.
Yeah, well, don't expect to get any wedding gifts then.
Charles Manson's dead. He ain't gonna show up. I mean, it is killing animals. It's murder. Nope. No. Here's a dictionary. It's not. It's not murder. God. Who'd want to go to a damn vegan wedding in the first place?
Not I.
Oh, yeah, fuck that shit.
It's like, these sprouts are delicious. Thank you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Spaghetti is delicious you can have it without meat. Fine. But how many varieties of that am I going to find tantalizing before I get sick of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I have nothing against vegetables, But I'm like, yeah, but a lot of things taste better with bacon grease.
I'm saying, you know, and there's no crime in doing what I'm saying, what meat eaters are doing and things like that. The only crime is against a vegan's moral.
Yeah, they're nuts because, you know, milking cows is rape. All right, fine. You've got a milking a cow, and you stop milking her. What do you think's going to happen to that poor cow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
she's going to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, she'll be in that's absolute cruelty. I mean, there are ways we can avoid being cruel to those animals we eat, and I think we should, because it's appalling how some things are sourced.
Yeah,
just because it's unnecessary, and I do know that it'll make meat cost more, but a lot of things have already made meat cost more, like ethanol. Look at the cost of beef. You used to be able to buy ground beef at a decent price. And now it's just ridiculous.
I don't understand the uptightness of fucking vegans because they're killing animals by what they're doing.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Making more and more farms, cutting down more and more trees, killing off more and more animals. And if you're a true vegan and want to fucking save the rainforest, stop using palm oil, stop using coal, stop using anything that comes from the fucking forest because you're killing animals by what you're doing.
Now you're using logic.
Yeah, it's like, don't you understand? Leonardo DiCaprio has to fly halfway across the world to talk about global warming. That makes perfect sense. He couldn't take a commercial flight. How rude. He might have to mix with a hoi polloi.
Yeah, that's what gets me. Is like a lot of them sit up here and they get on their high horses and their damn soapbox and don't realize they're causing just as much damage. I'm saying that they're claiming that medias are doing.
Well, it's like AOC and her trains. She wants all these bullet trains. And I was like, okay, sweetheart, what's going to power them? Because if you draw that much electricity to run high-speed rail, if it's even possible, are you telling people that they can no longer have electricity in their homes? Where are you going to generate that electricity from? I mean, we could put her on a hamster wheel, but I don't think it's going to handle. The U.S. is too big for effective high-speed rail. You could have it between major metropolitan areas, which we do kind of, but it's not as feasible as it is elsewhere in the world. But no, we're going to do that. We'll have windmills as far as the eye can see. Oh, fuck those birds that got ground up in the windmills. And the fact that it takes fossil fuels to maintain those windmills.
I have another thing from Insane People Facebook. My daughter just walked into the living room and said, "Dad, cancel my pocket money immediately, rent out my room, throw all my clothes out the window, take my TV and stereo, iPhone and iPod, and my laptop. Please take all of my jewelry to the Salvation Army or cash converters, then sell my new car, take my front door key off me and kick me out the house, then disown me and never talk to me again. And don't forget to write me out of your will and leave my share to my brother." Well, she didn't put it quite like that. She actually said, "Hi, Dad, this is my new boyfriend, Mohammed."
I was wondering where that was going.
Like there, for a daughter to do all that right there, like, dang, what did she get into?
We're gonna get crossways with Ilhan Omar now. Yeah, I can't. I bring it on, genius. She's another one. She and AOC are like competing for who can say the most stupid things in 1 week.
Oh my god!
It shouldn't be a race, but I'm enjoying the fact that it is one. You know.
Yeah, so it's basically a bitch I can do better than that type of thing.
Yep. Well, she can't say "hold my beer" because that would be against her faith. But it's just like, hang on to my hijab, we're flying off. You know, it's just. I just, oh my God.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, back to this old vegan thing. It's like my thing is with them, it's like I'm just like, you do me, let me, let me do myself, and you just have a good time, just, enjoying your vegetables and whatever the hell else vegans eat, and just, leave meat eaters alone. Now, unless a meat eater is coming at them the way that they come at people and stuff like that with that holier than thou attitude, I can understand. But other than that, that's what works my nerves, like, I don't eat meat, so therefore I'm better than you. That's what make me say people like vegan games and shit like that. Man, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck you gonna sit up here and try to tell me what to do and shit?
They're always like that too. I told the story once before on one of the Monkey in the Mornings that back when they were having that vegan games fight the whole time, I had I suppose I should say I came off as a vegetarian just to see what the difference was between the vegans and the vegetarians. They fucking hate vegetarians. They think they're worse than meat eaters. And I'm like, why? I mean, I don't eat meat, and I mean, I might use the byproducts of it, like I'll wear something leather, but I know it's sourced from a cruelty-free place, and it's like, you're still enabling these people, and you're still one of them. You're killing the animal, through other means. And I'm like, we're eating their food.
Because cheese and milk and shit.
Yeah, vegans are helping. I'm saying, the animal community and stuff like that. Because I remember Monkey he made a video like that too, like saying something like, all right. So say vegan games took money to go like buy the latest phone and things like that. And say that person that he gave the money to get the phone, was a meat eater. Well, yeah, you just contributed to that meat eater taking that money right there and going to a restaurant and buying another steak. So it's like, I'm saying, how are you any motherfucking different from contributing to like the slaughtering of animals than anything? So that's what I'm saying. They don't realize how much they step into their own lot, their own damn lot, how they put their foot in their mouth. Like, I don't eat meat, so therefore, I don't contribute to the slaughtering of these. Yes, you do. You just don't fucking see it.
Yeah, they don't pay any attention. All the stuff they're buying, a lot of it is not necessarily animal tested, but somewhat an animal byproduct in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and then, like I said, it's like, how do they think they get their vegetables? Look at all the burrowing and the woodland creatures and stuff like that. They get killed, caught up in the farming equipment, to harvest their fruits and vegetables. Even the ones that grow their own stuff, like, that grow their own vegetables in their own little garden and shit like that. I'm pretty sure, bugs come in, and try to nibble off of things, and you spray that shit right there to keep them off of them. So they're contributing to, the slaughtering of animals as well. It may not be beef, pork, and chicken, but it's like they contributed to cruelty to animals and all that shit. But no, their cruelty isn't as bad as a meat eater's.
Oh, and half of them will roll up to your house for a meal to bitch at you about eating meat in a damn Escalade with leather seats. And it's like, you're missing the point, aren't you? Some of them are good. Some of them only, they never wear leather shoes or belts or any of that. But others are, they think being vegan is healthier, and then they dictate to everybody else. Because I've got a friend whose daughter and son-in-law have gotten just ridiculous. And it's, they're coming for Thanksgiving, and it's like, well, are you going to make the, mashed potatoes with butter because we don't use butter, and then blah, blah. And it's like, well, then make your own damn food.
I'm saying, yeah, make your own damn food.
You bring your stuff.
Bring your stuff in,
And I'll set a purity table up in the kitchen, and the rest of the adults will be eating in the dining room.
Because I'm not finna sit up here and kowtow for one specific person. I'm saying, while the rest of us suffer. Shit.
Sure. I mean, I'll lay like a salad out or something like that. If you're vegan, have the salad. If you're worried about something else, bring your own shit.
And I'm perfectly happy to accommodate people. I mean, if I know somebody's coming for a meal, I generally will ask them if there's anything they can't eat, if they're like herbs and stuff they despise. So I won't use it. If I know somebody hates cilantro, I'll make the bean dip for them without cilantro. But they're not asking me to do it. I'm putting myself in that position. But if it's like, well, I'll come to your party, but do you use blah blah and do you use blah blah and it's like, why am I now sorry I invited you?
Yeah, it's like, like I said, y'all come, but like, treat me like I'm better than everybody else. Like, no.
Yeah. It's like the world does not revolve around you. And the funny thing is that one of the children of the vegan couple of my friend has moved well far away from his family and has always gone for meat when he could get it because he didn't buy into their bullshit. So I'm sure he's happy as a clam and, you know, high tide, because it's, I can't imagine how horrible it would be if like your parents went vegan on you when you were a kid and you're like, but I don't like couscous every night. Well, too bad. It's good for you. Ancient grains and all that. Eat your quinoa.
Oh yeah, I hate that force. You know, when you try to force it on somebody. That's where they make the biggest mistake right there. They try to force it on you, you know, because they're doing it. And it's like, if you like it so damn much and shit like that, why are you trying to force this? You know? It should be inspire people, persuade it. But you know, when you try to force it, when you try to shame it, you know, people are just going to give you the middle finger and they're going to continue to eat steak.
Yeah, the one vegetarian couple I ever knew, they were vegetarian because of texture. They didn't like the texture of animal flesh, which is the case with some people. They would occasionally eat seafood. They weren't against eggs, milk, butter, that kind of thing. And they worked really hard to make tasty, tasty dishes. So if they made a couscous, it had loads of like Parmesan cheese in it. So it was numb. Enough that I was like, what's the recipe? Because I don't mind a different side dish. It doesn't have to have, you know, pork fat in it, even though I think bacon makes the entire world go round. But can you imagine eating like a pot of collards that didn't have a single bit of pork fat in it?
Oh God, I can't imagine.
Not that I would enjoy it.
Ew.
Collard?
You know,
collard greens.
Yeah, collard greens. They're
like string beans?
No, no, they're greens. They're like kale or spinach, except it's a big, large leaf and it has to be cooked down and tenderized because if it's not tenderized,
it's very tough.
It's a tough green, but it's tasty as all get out if it's fixed right.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you cook it right, otherwise it tastes kind of like ass.
Yeah, it does. Well, all bitter greens. See, I don't like mustard greens or turnip greens at all.
You don't like mustard, so.
Oh, I love turnip greens. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not fond of them. My mom liked them, but I love a good pot of collards. It's just a little vinegar, a little hot sauce.
Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Mix it up with that corn, mix it up with the cornbread.
Oh yeah, you've got something to suck up the pot liquor.
Yeah.
It's just, I had to teach my husband what pot liquor was because he had never had collards. And so I had him taste some collards and I was like, this is what you do with your cornbread. When you're done with collards, there's all that lovely pot liquor. Soak it up. Soak it up with the cornbread. That is how to eat.
Yeah, and have you ever looked and noticed lately how, you know, vegans are kind of getting like envious of like a lot of meat eaters because look at a lot of their food now. Like I told you, vegan sausages and freaking tofu burgers and, you know, tofu hot dogs. They're basically, like I'm saying, trying to change their stuff to try to, you know, like to look like meat even though it's not.
Yes. Yeah, tofurkey. And it's like, look, the only way I really like tofu is in like hot and sour soup.
Oh, I'm saying, somewhere where I can't taste it because I've tasted by itself and I'd rather lick the bottom of my shoe.
Yeah,
that's how bad it is.
I had barbecued tofu from a Vietnamese restaurant one time, and that wasn't bad because it had been barbecued and fried. And, you know, frying can improve pretty much anything.
Yeah, it was hooked up.
Yeah, it's like I'm a Southerner, fry it, please. You know, it's just. But yeah,
another insane people Facebook.
She wants to go back to Facebook.
Insane people Facebooks. Oh my god! I'll get to other subreddits, but fuck me. Why do I need an AR-15? Because someday the government may tell me I'm not allowed to put my sick son on a plane to fly him to Italy for treatment. And believe me, I tell you, I will be putting him on that plane. I need an AR-15 in case I need to hijack a plane to fly my son to a country with socialized healthcare. It's currently my favorite take on gun ownership.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack out of that. Now, that might have to do with the fact that the Italians offered to take that British kid that was ill and treat him, but the NHS wouldn't allow parents to remove him from the hospital.
Oh, and then, you know what? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and then somebody decided to spin that. That almost sounds like a Poe. I swear to God, it almost sounds like a Poe, because I'm going to need my AR-15 to get my kid on a flight. Well,
oh, God. You know that story of the chick in the coma in that healthcare facility that someone, like, knocked her up and she gave birth?
Uh-huh.
That chick in a coma? Well, someone on Insane People Facebook posted on that story on Facebook. Do you want to hear what the comment was?
Uh-oh.
No.
Go ahead.
I don't think... because the headline is Woman in Coma Gives Birth and Now Police Want DNA from Male Workers at Healthcare Facility. And the comment is, I don't think DNA tests should be done. Let's receive it as a miracle like we have with the Virgin Mary's birth. Or is man too intelligent to ever believe in something so extraordinary that new life somehow produced itself while this woman was in a coma? Perhaps she had a dream of having a sexual encounter with her husband that her body thought it was real enough to produce a pregnancy, or perhaps...
She was, 3 years old when she entered the coma? She doesn't have a husband. She never had a husband.
But it's a miracle, like the Virgin Mary.
Oh, yeah.
She dreamt it and it happened.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, did you guys hear what the lawyer for the guy that they nailed on the DNA test said?
What?
That they'll get their own DNA experts because, that's not conclusive.
And I thought,
okay, since I still haven't gotten over OJ getting off, stop it. It's unless it was a tainted DNA sample, or something was submitted by someone that was not theirs as a DNA sample. Yeah, that guy did it. This is not a tough case.
I swear to God, this is the last Insane People Facebook I'll read. This is the last one, but I just can't get over this shit.
No, these are fun. More about it.
No, they're actually wonderful.
Oh, God. I'm a PETA member, and my next door neighbor is blind, and she has a seeing eye dog. I had the dog picked up and put out of its enslavement. How do I convince her that she was exploiting a fellow creature and that now he's out of his misery?
It's called a call to the local sheriff's office. That way, when she gets herself in trouble, she can really complain when she's in jail and somebody's using her as the pussy as she is.
And why would you do that? Now I'm saying
it's not your animal. And again, even if is it being mistreated? How about that? Are you using it for labor? Come on, there are questions you can ask to determine whether or not something's being maltreated or neglected.
Mm-hmm.
And having a dog as a pet, or a cat as a pet, or a goldfish as a pet isn't necessarily enslavement. In the wild, they're doing the same thing. We're just streamlining their lives. You think that they're not benefiting from us?
Oh, and I'm saying, yeah, and the dog was there to help. Help the woman do things that she couldn't do. To go places that she can't see to go. I'm like, anybody who does this, I'm like, oh God.
It's mutually beneficial. The dog gets fed, has a nice warm place to stay, and she gets to walk around without getting hit by a bus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's stupid.
People are horrible, and
sometimes people think they're being moral, and they're actually being, what's the word I'm looking for?
Immoral. These PETA people who are rescuing in quotes, pets from people, and then euthanizing the pet. Yeah, that's helpful to the pet, right? The dog's in the backyard, tongue lolling. He's got a big bowl of water. He's got his little dog house. He's happy as a pig and shit. And they go rescue him and gas him. Okay.
And then they sit up here and talk about go vegan because, like I said, we're tired of the slaughtering of animals, but look at how many animals they fucking euthanize.
The companionship between human and dog is a very, very long one. And the cooperative companionship with cats is a long one too. Because they'd be the mousers in the barns. They'd keep vermin away from grain. Why do you think they were worshipped? Well, that's why they were worshipped in Egypt, for Christ's sake. It is. It's just it breaks my brain that you think you're doing a good turn for an animal by killing it to save it from enslavement. My God, thank God these people weren't around when slavery was around in the U.S. They'd have just been burning people alive in slave quarters. I'm freeing you.
That's called the witch trial.
Yeah, but we're gonna free you. We're gonna just kill you, and won't that be nicer?
You won't be suffering anymore.
Well, fuck me. No, I might not like living in chains, but I'm alive. And there might be a chance of my getting out of the chains one day, but you just fucked it up by burning me at the stake. Oh my God.
I got one for somebody from the at Decay Media on Twitter. They say, okay, folks, if you want to praise a woman for giving a speech wearing nothing but pubes and sounding like a broken leg, that's fine. I don't care. But can you please leave sex workers and models the fuck alone? They're trying to pay bills. Because it is like the same people who are sitting up here and praising Victoria Bateman for giving this speech while in the nude and shit like that. That's brave, that's courageous, that's that's brave and stunning and all that right there. But these are the same people that will sit up there and look at a porn star and and the model and all that right there and will dog the shit out of them, talking about they're giving it to the male gaze and the patriarchy.
Look, I want sex trafficking shut down. It's why I want prostitution made legal. If we legalize prostitution, it would be, and look, I am not big into government regulation, but it would be regulated. The health and safety of the girls would be or men would be protected.
It's one of the few things that this type of regulation would actually be useful for, because not everything needs that kind of regulation. But when it comes to people's real safety, real things that we can see statistically as an issue, I've got no problem with it. Please step in.
I had a huge argument with a woman who was absolutely, she believed that every single prostitute was being sex trafficked in some way. And I was like, well, the Bunny Ranch is a good example. There are, the Mayflower Madam was a good example. That not always, but yeah, historically, a lot of prostitution was sex trafficking and women trapped by vicious, violent pimps into that kind of work. But if you legalize prostitution, you can go hell for leather after the pimps, after the sex traffickers, the people unwillingly enslaving people into sex work, because you won't be busy busting johns and writing citations to hookers and that kind of thing. And you can also guarantee that their health and safety is better protected. Hashtag not all. You won't get rid of all of it, but you certainly could. It's like legalizing drugs for me. Same thing. I'd like to take the money that we're using to incarcerate people for having a dime bag for 10 fucking years. And
so pointless.
And instead work to curb addiction.
I'm sorry, isn't what?
Isn't Trump doing something about that?
He's talked about legalizing marijuana.
No, I mean like freeing first offenders that got arrested for like a fucking dime bag of weed and put in prison. Like he's already released a couple of people.
Well, yeah, they're looking at prison reform, but that's only part of the equation, because if you legalize drugs, you change the way the market for drugs functions. And then you can take all that money that you're wasting on federal prisons and turn it to fighting cartels.
Agreed. Real quick, Tyra donated $5. Thank you. He says, have a few coins on me for your wonderful entertainment. Well, I really appreciate that, my friend. Thanks for coming around.
you know, prostitution is legal here, and it's highly regulated. And you know, all the girls, they go to the doctor like twice a week. They're always checked. Like they're always made sure to use condoms, and there are brothels and everything here. So it's all very, very safe. Because of the legalization. Well, prostitution has always been legal here, really, so it's always been regulated. But you know, people need to like help out the prostitutes, because like Tinder is fucking killing their business.
Oh yeah,
no joke.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? That how sluts put prostitutes out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rude way of putting it.
No, I mean, it's just the truth in its most direct form.
But also, I can't understand, if you're willing to sleep with every Tinder date you'll take, why don't you go to work in a brothel? You'll be killing it. I mean, you'll be making money.
Well, she gets to choose who she, takes into her bed, as opposed to accepting anybody who comes in with a 50.
Well, there are some brothels that I bet operate on pairing clients.
Sure, and they'd still make plenty of money. I guarantee it, because there's still going to be the men who used the Tinder originally who are going to be like, well, now I get to see them in person and make a choice before I make that choice over the phone.
Uh-huh. It's kind of funny, though, because it's like, yeah, I'm willing to give it away. It's like, oh, but you could be making money. Yeah,
I mean, you both want something, and I'm pretty sure he's willing to give you, like I said, like a $50 bill or something for that little bit of an adventure.
It's like my favorite candy heart meme that I saw for this time of year. Was, instead of "be mine," it said "your money's on the dresser." And I was like, that's the kind of candy hearts I think are appropriate for Valentine's.
I was also wondering if there was anyone in the chat that has a good Reddit thread they would like to suggest.
I wish my girlfriend was away, because she lives on Reddit, unfortunately. But no, I wish I spent more time there once in a while. Yeah, there's some good Reddit stuff. Like again, I didn't really think about the dark jokes one, and I've laughed a couple of times off the mic reading some of this, but it's Reddit. I think it's full of surprises, like especially the incel community. Oh, so yeah, I suppose go to the incel side, and that's always fun.
Well, I guess I could go there, because unfortunately the neckbeard stories thread was taken down.
Yeah, I don't get why they figure they gotta SJW up anything. If you don't like that sort of thing, stay away from it.
The neckbeard ones were fucking hilarious, because they're all fucking weirdos that say "milady" and all that shit, and the fedoras.
Love it, milady.
Yeah, the idea of actually like policing the trans or Reddit, it's so funny to me. Because it's like, no, just don't you kind of want to know where the weirdos are? It's just, I want to know who's saying what, which is why I want the platforms to be as free as possible. Because if somebody's like a legit Nazi, well, that would be a crypto Nazi these days. I prefer to know. It would be like, okay, good. I stay far away from you.
Again, I don't understand the idea of completely censoring somebody just because they had a different opinion. Now, I can understand if they, again, are actually breaking the hate laws. It's like, all right, yeah, let's go burn down a mosque. Like, yeah, no, please don't do that.
Well, there aren't any hate laws to begin with in the United States. It's at direct call for violence, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Yeah, because we don't have hate speech in this country. It's free speech. I can say the most horrible things I want to any of you. And you're free to just go, okay, you're an asshole. Bye. But you can't say that's hate speech, and you have to go to prison because you said something horrible to me.
Okay, case in point, I'm about to share a story that Hascat sent to me a day or two ago, whatever it was. I'm going to link it in chat, and it's about sex trafficking with children involved. It's like we're not supposed to talk about these people because they're mentally deficient or some way. They're just in need of some help, some attention, so that they wouldn't do these sort of things. And all I want to say to preface all this is like, no, you know exactly what you're doing. You know what you're doing is wrong. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it in a shady van somewhere. We're misunderstood. No, you're scumbags. It's like you goddamn fucking hate pedos.
Oh well, yeah. There's and that's something. This pedo acceptance shit that's bubbling under the surface with these intersectional people, and it's like the maps. You know,
they're trying to fucking teach kids about sex, younger and younger, especially here, and they're trying to teach kids about consent. So eventually, children will be able to quote unquote consent. So then they can add the P to the LGBT. That's what they fucking want to do. Like, it's fucked and it's bad.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, but I'm saying, but it just ain't gonna happen because shoot, they already know the moment they touch a child, the moment they're gonna get cracked upside their head. Yeah, especially like I said, and speaking of the kids and stuff like that, it's like y'all heard like the recent thing that's going on with Mercedes, like that she dropped down a statement saying that that the allegations are false and just basically given by her ex, who she got like the child by, and like he's like a fundamentalist Christian and shit like that. He doesn't he doesn't he doesn't like the fact of her being a porn star and things like that. So he's saying that she's basically saying that he put their daughter up to making all these accusations. But it's just a thing that according to all these articles, which I'm not going by journalism as of today because they done spread so much bullshit. They're basically saying like that the police when they arrest them they got so much corroborating evidence, but they ain't said like what of yet. And I don't know. It's just all jacked up because like. My thing is like why everybody's like, quickly like, going to this mob mentality of like, like, oh my God, you're a pedophile, fucking I got nothing to do with you. It's like I'm just waiting until, like when the courts say like, yeah, you're guilty and and they proved and all that right there, that's when I'm gonna be like, burn
her at the stake.
Yeah, burn at the stake.
But yeah, it's a little bit like Satsu's suggestion that we go with a 48-hour rule with some stories. Don't pile into it before you have the information.
Yeah.
And if the police are not going to issue an indictment, I mean, the DA isn't going to issue an indictment. There isn't going to be that kind of evidence collection. If there isn't strong suggestion that there's a case, yes, that makes you think, all right, there's probably truth to this, but you still want to see in the trial what's presented. Regardless of what the jury says, at least in the trial, you get to hear what the prosecution has. And we don't wait for that anymore.
Nope.
It's like everybody wanted Kavanaugh lynched before Christine Blasey Ford gave her testimony. So if you're smart, you waited. And then she comes and gives her testimony, and her testimony is crap.
Man.
I mean, it's utter crap. And I thought Kavanaugh had the best way of responding. I think something actually happened to that woman. I wasn't responsible for it. And because if either she's an incredibly good liar or somebody did something to her at one point and she's projecting it, possibly falsely, deliberately. It could be that at some point somebody else did something like that to her, but because she's an activist, she can channel that acting emotion and aim it at Kavanaugh. I don't know. I have no way of knowing what was inside the woman's mind, but her testimony was horrible. And the woman that they got to do the questioning, I thought was a perfect choice. To have a woman who had been a sex crimes prosecutor do the questioning. And of course they were like, well, she's a Republican. I don't care how she votes. Was she a sex crime prosecutor or not?
No, it was just people just making up excuses because like, they wanted Kavanaugh just, crucified for just anything and stuff like that, simply because President Trump supported him. And it's like, whatever President Trump do, like mainstream media and all the radical left is like, oh, that's just bad, bad, bad. Like the man could say, look, I got a cure for cancer. Oh, that's bad, bad, bad. They'll find up any excuse and shit like that. And it's like, you can't get it through their heads whatsoever.
Orange man bad. Orange man bad. It's like all the little Klan brides at the State of the Union jumping up and cheering for themselves. But you lay out minority unemployment numbers that are better than we've ever seen, and everybody sits on their hands, and it's like, oh dear God, do you know what you just signaled to anybody in a minority community watching this?
That we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, is that we're pissed you're working. Why are you not on your knees in front of us begging for the very food for your table?
Yes.
That's what you're supposed to be doing, you uppity idiots. What do you think? And it is so, except Trump's the racist.
Well, of course he is.
And it's like, wait a second. You have no proof. They have no proof for that statement.
Well, they never do.
No.
He's never. If Trump were a racist, that shit would have been brought up years ago, because Trump has had people hating him since he even well before he ever considered running for office. They would have nailed him on it. He was the billionaire everybody loved to hate.
Mm-hmm.
And now they just sit there all puckered up like, what do you mean Hispanics are doing well? What do you mean that more black people are working? This isn't good news. Our voter base may turn on us.
Mm-hmm.
And add to with the abortion thing.
Yeah, they don't care about actual issues. They're just worried about losing their power, which I think it's the dumbest thing to worry about. You are supposed to be doing the goddamn job we pay you for.
Yeah, they're worried about losing their power, and they're worried about losing their lavish lifestyle.
Yep. And the abortion thing. I mean, how do you think that's going to sell to traditionally churched black people in the South?
Not particularly well.
I mean, I just don't see that working at all. And it certainly isn't going to sell to very faithful Catholics in the Hispanic community. Mm-hmm. It's not going to sell to a lot of the old standard white middle class or working class Democrat. You want to kill babies? You people are fucked. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll become Republicans.
Right.
They might just sit at home and not vote. Or they might go for an independent candidate. But they might very well leave the party. I mean, the Democrats, look, I have no love for the Republicans. I think they're just utterly retarded. Mm-hmm. But I thought they were going to be the ones to blow themselves apart. And then the Cuomo kid says, hold my beer. And New York goes full in. And and then you've got Ralph Northam in Virginia. Look, I know that Northern Virginia carries most of the voting weight in the state because it's outside of D.C. So you have all those federal workers, and they're all comfortable, happy little Democrats, and they outweigh the rural areas. But the rest of Virginia is not going to go, yay, kill babies. It's just Northern Virginia might, and then we need to build a wall.
Yeah, but people are fucking psycho. They'll go for anything and not think about it, as long as it's like, usually girls go straight for the whole, no, it's about men wanting control over our bodies. It's not about killing babies. You just want control over our bodies. Like, it always goes to that, and it fucking annoys me.
My father, the only control he had over my body was whether there was food on the table. If you know what I mean, that's like the closest he had to control. I mean, granted, until I reached age of majority, technically he had control over me. But after I never had it put to me that I would be like locked in a basement, chained to a wall.
Jeez. Because
I was his property. It's this weird perception that women have that men are out to get us.
I don't get it, honestly. I honestly think that men right now have less rights than women do.
They do. Mm-hmm. And more women are out to get men than men have ever been out to get women.
No.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's just it in that regard, if I had to say that there was a political group I agreed with as a rights activist group, the men's rights activists.
You do seem like an MRA.
Definitely.
Well, because I don't think I'm more interested in justice. Life isn't fair.
Sure.
I just want life to be just. And men are getting the shitty end of the stick over and over and over again, everywhere you turn.
I agree.
And all women have to do is clutch their pearls and fall back on their fainting couch and say, I'm oppressed. And it's like, the fuck you are. You are not. You've got the whip hand.
Ooh, by the way, can I ask how I sound?
You sound great.
Very good.
Great.
Awesome. Gutenberg will be happy with this because I'm using my Blue Yeti right now.
Hey.
There you go, Gutenberg. I have a good fucking microphone. I'm just lazy. Fuck you.
Hey, Polly.
Hello.
Hey, finally.
What's up, Polly?
What's going
Where the
on?
hell have you been?
You know, I knew a girl who actually owned an antique fainting couch.
And you bought it off her. We know.
No, I didn't buy it off her.
Well, they're lovely pieces of furniture. I mean, they're, but
it came into my possession, but I didn't.
See, I knew it.
She was hilarious with it. She'd like fall back on it and go, "Oh, the vapors." And,
Clever girl.
But fainting couch feminism, as Christina Hoff Sommers called it, is the worst. That is the minute you call them on their shit, they collapse. Oh, no.
Poor me. What was life?
You're abusing me, making me defend my position. Sorry you can't logic, honey.
God, I hate people. I hate people who take so much advantage of any position that they might have in power. It's one thing to have the office and, say, hey, can you look away on a parking ticket? Okay, fine, whatever. It's a fucking parking ticket. It's another thing to say, oh, well, you can't take it from me because I'm for you guys. You're the ones I'm working for. Meanwhile, they're completely against everything you've asked them to do, and they're just lobbying for more money because they got too used to it.
And can anybody, riddle me this. How does infanticide help women?
It gives them the choice so they can move on with their lives.
Yeah, but what if we end up with a society that decides we have too many women in it and the control goes to those people and they start treating the women born like the Chinese do?
Uh-oh. They didn't think that far ahead.
They didn't think that far.
Yeah, see, because that little gavel can change hands and it can end up in the hands of the worst possible people. So be careful what you wish for.
But the wild part, they're thinking in the moment. They're thinking in the right now.
Yep, they're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about society's health as a whole.
Hey, Prosper.
Yes.
What are them old timey cars that people drove around in, like that you see like in like the 1940s films and such? Like I want to call them a Packard, but that's like a very specific kind of car. Did they have a more general name?
Well, there were coupes.
They just like, I can't search for old timey car. That's gonna bring up like Model Ts and shit.
Well, you can look at the Duesenberg.
Oh well, yeah, it's a doozy.
Yeah, I always love the fact. No, I love the fact that gave it its nickname. But
see, okay, I found this beautiful picture of this old New Orleans house, right? And for the purposes that I'm using it for, but it's got a fucking modern SUV parked out in front of it, so I need to, cover it with a car from the 1940s. I'm going for a noir look. SUVs aren't noir.
Well, a Packard wouldn't be a bad choice.
Yeah, okay, but you know what the problem is with looking up Packards? People they're beautiful antique cars, so people gloss them up, get them great, and photograph them from that front quarter angle. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I need a side shot of a car here, and nobody that's an ugly way to take a picture of a car, so nobody does it like that. They're all beauty shots.
Look up cars with suicide doors.
I can give you two beautiful cars right now. The first one is a Holden FJ Special, and the second one is a Holden Kingswood Premier. Go for it.
Well, there you go. I know nothing about cars, so don't ask me.
You could also look up. You could also look up suicide doors.
You keep mentioning suicide. Why do you want him to die?
You know what suicide doors are, don't you?
I know what they are.
Okay, so that was the style was still in favor to some extent. The oldest car that I saw as a child was, oh God, it was a late 40s Plymouth. When I was born, there was a big black bubbly Plymouth in the driveway. And the car had to be close to 10 years old. So that would have been 48, 49, somewhere like that. Best I can tell you, dude, I wasn't alive in the 40s.
Lies.
You lied to me.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Maybe not the 1740s, but
I was not alive in the 1940s. I was born when Eisenhower was president. Okay?
She was regenerating.
Oh my
we all
God,
know.
you're so old.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was it was near the end of his term.
I would just okay. The reason
I
why
think
I'm
Skep was born when. Wait, he's October, so he was born when Truman was still president.
Oof.
Just barely.
I mean, it's just it's not actually that funny, and it's kind of mean what I said. So
no, that's okay. I don't give a shit. It's going to happen to you one day. I'll be dead, but I'll be off somewhere floating on a cloud, laughing
your ass off if you get called old. Well, I just watched this movie. It was like a made-for-TV movie, a TBS original. Who knows? One of them low-down cable networks. It's called Ike: Countdown to D-Day.
And
it did a fantastic job with it. Tom Selleck,
yes.
unlikely as have you seen it?
Yes, I have. It was magnificent, and Gerald McCraney playing Patton.
Just wow. Just considering how low the budget was on that, they knocked it out of the fucking park.
The planning meeting. I mean, and all the bitching and Monty being such a prick and de Gaulle being a dickhead.
De Gaulle, didn't you just want to reach into the screen and strangle him? He was.
But A&E did it originally, I think, and it was
A&E. Okay.
Yeah, it was
just for a made-for-TV movie. It's so enjoyable. Tom Selleck, it doesn't look a fucking thing like Eisenhower. I don't care. He brought class to the role, and so therefore,
I think that's why they got McCraney to play Patton, because both men were short, so they could shoot them because McCraney's tall and Selleck's ridiculously tall. They used proper camera angle to keep it from looking completely ahistorical.
Right. And oh man, how about the guy they got to play
Bradley?
No, well,
he was good.
Yeah. No,
Churchill.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the mannerisms, the hand motions, like if you ever watch a Churchill speech or whatever, he just and the subtle humor.
Yes.
And it's like when he offers Montgomery a drink, and he's like, a little early, don't you think, Prime Minister? And he's like, and he leaves, and then Churchill's manservant comes in and says it's a time to meet with the Parliament, Mr. Prime Minister. And he's like, he doesn't drink, Montgomery, does he? And he says he's a strictly religious man. And he goes, well, good for us. As the way this war is going, we can use somebody who's on good terms with God. It's just like, yes, that's classic.
The way they built the tension to the invasion was remarkable because, of course, they touched on that incredibly moving thing that Eisenhower did, going to face the airborne.
Yeah. That he's sending to what he believed to be 60% casualties
at least. Yeah, they thought, and the air marshal with the British getting the reports while it was at the end going, it wasn't even 20, sir. And that relief, because the pressure that was on Eisenhower and dealing with those disparate personalities.
I mean, that film, I think, is so instructive as to what's wrong with current major Hollywood films. And I don't mean it can, fix all of them, but there's no action scenes in there. It's a World War II film about the invasion of Normandy. Okay. There's no fighting scenes in it. Yeah. There's no war in it. It's tense as fuck. Like you said, the rising tension, you feel it through good writing, good character development. and they don't actually show the crescendo. You own, like, you know, the actual invasion. You're just hearing about it.
Yeah, you're just having to deal with the guys in the room.
Yeah, like the commander is at a distance. You know,
listening and praying and listening and praying, and the anxiety that it lead, especially because de Gaulle was so fucking uncooperative. You know, because all they wanted him to do was to let the French people know that the invaders were on their side. That if they saw guys dropping from the sky, it wasn't the Germans pulling a fast one on them. If they saw this or that, it wasn't, you know, but oh no. And
all they were asking from him was to go on the radio to speak after Eisenhower had spoke to show solidarity with the Allies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And he refused.
Yeah, he was such a dick. What a dick. I mean, I always knew that he was a dick, but it was just...
Well, and there are, I mean, I know Skep, we've talked about it. He's a big fan of the kind of like fictionalized portrayal, the nostalgic portrayal of the World War II era. So if he hasn't seen that film, I think he would love it, because it's very good at presenting kind of the clothing and the cars and the way people talked and everything. So the aesthetic is just great. The period aesthetic is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So I think they really, I hope that de Gaulle wasn't that much of a dick, that they were just playing it up, because he's a legendary asshole. To imagine that somebody would be that French just drives me crazy. I
don't know. Remind me, and I'll pull out my copy of Crusade in Europe, because, well, the copy I inherited, because I have both Eisenhower's Crusade in Europe and Omar Bradley's A Soldier Story.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's interesting is that I don't have a digital copy of it. I've got the DVD of it, and it has a commentary on it with the director and Selleck.
Oh, cool. Talking.
And Selleck is just in love with the period, and the guy comes across like a true heartfelt American patriot. Like,
he is.
you know what I mean? And he's like, frankly, I like the military uniforms more back then. He goes, they're unostentatious. The generals were really dressed down compared to the way they are now. And I'm like, that's a good point. They really were. And
what we call the Eisenhower jacket. You know, what's now nostalgically called the Eisenhower jacket, the shorter jacket. It looked more like an officer's version of fatigues, as opposed to brassy brass.
Yeah, with, you know, and I get it. I get the you know, officers need to be distinct from soldiers of the line. I totally get it. But wow, the things that he said, there's so little known that I had to go on as an actor. Like films, like you can see him talking, but that doesn't really help you. One of the impromptu things that I did have access to is a very short clip of Eisenhower walking out of his campaign trailer, you know, like his mobile command center that just had a bed and a desk in it, you know, is him walking out, and the way the man smoked, he virtually covered the bottom half of his face with his hand when he smoked a cigarette. And he goes, so I tried, because that was a little thing that I could pick up. And I noticed, through the whole film, that's the way he smokes.
Curled under the palm. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was Eisenhower's style, whatever. 3 fucking packs a day. That explains why in the film Selleck is forever sparking a cigarette. 3 unfiltered packs of cigarettes a day.
Well, whoa. It's small wonder, because Eisenhower, until Marshall gave him that command, had been kind of undistinguished. His Africa campaign did not work well. He was not a battlefield general. He was a behind the scenes kind of guy. And Marshall's choice of Ike, I think, was inspired. And absolutely inspired. I know the guy. He's got the temperament. And you know, that scene where Churchill is wondering about having to deal with some Kansan,
right?
You know, this block, nothing of a Kansan, and then after meeting with Ike, and Ike's deferential, but quintessentially American in his deference. It's like, yes, that's really nice, Mr. Prime Minister. However, I'm in charge here. Yeah, kind of handling of him. You see Churchill's complete change in how he saw Eisenhower. It's
because,
just a marvelous film.
It's really well written because there's no exposition that is brutal and noticeable. It all happens naturally through conversation. It's like the power you're seeking wasn't born by Caesar, anybody in history. No man wanted as control of an army that you now seek. You realize that. And and it's put in Churchill's mouth, those words, and that gives suddenly the audience understands, wow, this guy was taking command of not just the American forces, but the Canadian forces, the Australian forces, the British forces.
Yep. Which is what chapped Monty's ass.
Yeah.
Big time. Montgomery was an asshole. And we have him to thank.
Proper field commander. He bested Rommel.
I'm sorry. Yes, he was nice in North Africa, but excuse me, Operation Market Garden.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Oh, that's what they're talking about.
He's screwed the pooch with Market Garden. So
sorry, I didn't mean to just
I know we just went inside baseball on
this one particular obscure main TV film. But yeah, if anyone's looking for an interesting World War II film, like it's really well done for something that's an extremely small budget. And Zombie Teddy and Old Grouchy Gamer named a 1938 Plymouth and a Hudson Hornet, both great suggestions. I looked them up. Thank you. And the Mallard as well.
Yay! You've got your noir thing fixed, and we've recommended a good film. Really, if you guys have any interest at all in the lead up to D-Day, this is a really nicely done piece. Despite what you would think, what the hell, Tom Selleck playing Eisenhower?
Yeah. This is like, 6'4", square jawed, he's that dude, that beefcake dude, and it's like Eisenhower was a little skinny guy. It's like
he's in short with a round bald head, and just.
We actually lost a lot of our troops because the English fucked up and sent us to the wrong beach on D-Day. You can look up that fact. English fucked up.
Don't mention that to the British or he'll have a fit. He loves pointing out that the Americans wouldn't use failed to use the floating Bradley. The way they should have it. I'm like, shut up, asshole.
A lot of different countries have a lot of different stories about the war, but it is a fact that the British fucked up and sent us to the wrong beach. But we also, a lot of Australians say that we helped you guys out a lot, that we helped the British out a lot, like that people are would get in trouble and we'd come in at the last minute and fucking save their asses, and a lot of countries would say the same about war shit. So.
Well, and in the heat of battle, it's really what is it they say that's no strategy survives the first engagement?
No strategy will survive first contact with the enemy.
Yeah. And it's remarkable. I mean, as horrible as the death toll was on D-Day, and it was bad on the Allied side. It was, Omaha was a fucking nightmare.
Yep.
But there was something unique at the time about the command structure of the United States military that made our being at Omaha and Utah probably the best thing in the long run, because it occasionally fell to privates to continue to lead a platoon, because man after man after man in a command chain would be killed. And that notion of initiative, if that makes sense, that, you can aspire to be whatever you want to be, that we always rah about America, that had an impact on how people ended up surviving that day.
Oh, Pat, you put up a video about Victoria Bateman?
I just put it up not too long ago.
No, I just looked at my sub box and I'm like, oh shit. Great subject to do a video on, man.
Link in the chat. Share your stuff.
Yeah, it's like y'all just basically talking about like how people are just basically going at her on Twitter because like she
Bush.
is it because of the Bush and all that right there. That's what people are basically going after her about because she chose to do all this bullshit naked.
Mhm.
And everybody just basically calling her attention seeker. Not only that, just basically dogging her because she got a hairy pussy and shit.
Right.
But it's like I laugh because it's like when it's all said and done, I'm saying the people who are talking about it and people who are defending her, nobody even knows what the hell she's even said when her whole entire speech and shit like that. Why she's so anti-Brexit? It's all about her being naked. And if I'm her right there, it's like that would be the like, biggest slap in the face. Like you're right here calling yourself being serious about this topic, but yet all people are talking about is you being naked.
Right.
It just goes to show just how attention seeking she is, and I said the only reason why she probably did this is because she's saying everything that anybody who is, anti-Brexit is already saying, but she just chose to do this because she knew it was going to get more attention on her. Otherwise, she just would have been just one of the same crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that, and it's like clearly, if you're able to get a doctorate, you're not a stupid person. You're able to think things through. And if
she's smart.
If you're going to think this through, it had to have occurred to you that that people were going to talk more about your nudity than anything. It's like, oh well, fuck it, it's going to get my message out there. So you've never been on the internet then.
Yeah, it's like, what can I do to stand out?
You know what I mean? And it's like, when you use nudity to grab attention to something like the international feminist group Femin, right? Their protests often involve nudity in what they're doing. It's explain to me how that's not objectifying the female body.
Yeah, to me, it's just flat out exhibitionism.
Yeah, like I don't even know if the notion of objectification of a person it is a thing. That's why I think it's really interesting that you said exhibitionism. I think you can have a undignified exhibitionism. Yeah, like put somebody on exhibition, put the female form on in undignified exhibition. But are you ever turning it into an object? No, I don't think that's ever a thing.
I think to me it's just a feminist loophole, so that way they can kill two birds with one stone. They can get their kicks in and shit like that without in their minds, looking like a hypocrite. Plus, like say that they're fighting for a cause at the same time without realizing that,
That's what I mean. It's like streaking across a football field, but I've got a protest placard over my head while I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. So it must be a good thing, like, and not realize
you got that thrill of running naked. Who are you kidding? It's
yeah. Yeah, it was like him.
Sorry, I was picturing Kaepernick.
Yeah, it was like
naked on a field.
Yeah, it was like Mattress Girl's sex tape, but when she claimed to be doing another activism again, when she was but I don't know. I think what they do. Oh yeah, she was doing like a little public display of BDSM where they tied her to a cross and shit like that. I'm like, bullshit. You're just being a kinky exhibitionism, but you're trying to mask it under feminism. So that way you can enjoy that shit without looking like a hypocrite.
Yeah, it's supposed to be art, right? It was an art exhibition that she was doing. And it's like, and yeah, I believe you can put people in an art exhibition. Like some people like paint themselves up gold, a living statue thing, like, that kind of jazz where they hold or pose 5 minutes at a time, whatever. Like, yeah, you can have people in an art exhibition, but it's like you, Mattress Girl, went from this over to this and claim that it's all about protest. I don't know. I'm starting to see a fucking pattern that's making you look like you've just got a kink too.
Yeah, but that's the difference between her and artists and stuff like that. So artists will actually admit that, like, yeah, I got a kink for this. They won't. And they figure like, so long as I don't admit that, that I enjoy this, that I get a kink out of it, then I'm not, then I'm not a hypocrite. Like, bullshit, you're the worst hypocrite.
Speaking of putting women on exhibition, who wants to see the fucking the pictures I found of my new wife if it doesn't work out with Laura Harrier?
All right.
Yeah, and also I'm finding out about the the Broly actor who who's being Me Too'd all of a damn sudden. Now
he was supposed to be at the anime convention that I'm going to in a couple days, but they
say people like severing ties and shit like that just by allegations alone, man. None of this shit has been proven.
That's how it always goes. A man's life is ruined just because of allegations. It's been the same with fucking every allegation. That's why I think, like, even though it won't fucking fix it, like, a man's life is ruined forever if he gets any allegations against him. But the woman who lies about, like, this certain guy or whatever, like, doing anything to her should be fucking punished.
I don't know about this. I just heard Broly. What, like, can you tell me the story?
She don't even get a slap on the wrist. Like, I don't know, like, so this guy, I can't pronounce his name, like,
Vic something.
Vic something, like Vic McNo. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's like the voice of Broly in like the new Dragon Ball Z. Not the Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah,
like the new anime that's came out and it's been a big success, and now all of a sudden it's like all these accusations have come out talking about, oh, he did this and he did that. And that's what they are. They're accusations and shit like that, and they're going by that alone to like sever ties from him, like like really. I'm like, this hasn't even been proven yet, and you're already, like crucifying the guy and dragging him through the mud, shit, and the acid. Like, really, this is what we're going to.
Is anyone really fucking surprised about that?
I'm not surprised. I'm just like, this is still going on. Like I'm saying, I'm saying, a woman can sit up here and say such and such did something to me, and y'all just take her word for it, even though all these cases and stuff like that would have proved that women have lied through this and all this right here, and we're still going with that.
Well, yeah, these fucking women that make allegations against high-profile people. When they're caught lying and shit, nothing happens to them.
Nothing happens to them.
To where? Where do they go? Where'd Christine Ford go? She's fucking disappeared from planet Earth, hasn't she?
Yeah.
But she got all her money and
She's writing her book.
With over $1 million.
She's writing her book.
Well, last time I seen her, like, Sports Illustrated, like, featured her giving an award to somebody.
There's nothing worse than people smothered in awards for no good reason. Van Jones, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
But that's what gets me. It's like, even after these women are caught lying, nothing happens to. Well, sometimes something happens to them. Like I said, every blue moon, like they'll sacrifice one, or they'll give one a slap on the wrist and tell them not to get caught doing it again. But other than that, nothing happens to them. I done seen so many cases. Like in wrestling, I'm a big fan of wrestling. Like that one female that went by Miss Gucci or whatever, she accused the dude that been by, he called himself Enzo Amore. She accused him of raping her and things like that, and they fired him. They fired him on the spot. But then her best friend came out with screenshots showing that the sex that they had was totally consensual, and she went online bragging about it. And that's the only reason why. That's like one of the main reasons why he got cleared. But what happened to her? Nothing. She's still on social media. She's one of these Snapchat hoes. And she's still out there trying to sell her ass.
Oh, but just being brave and being in public is like a very traumatic experience for her. We need to let her go. She's been through a lot being so brave and lying about being touched.
People are stupid.
Yeah. And then they wonder why a lot of guys are like really, really cautious now when it comes to like talking to women and things like that, So, and now they're barking about that. How come men don't talk to women no more? Because they're tired of getting fucking Me Too.
Why would anybody want to when they know that the possibility of arrest and social destruction is a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Might as well go MGTOW. You know what I mean?
Oh God. It's like, what has happened to this generation, man?
I think it's more but like promotion through media, I would say, is honestly about 70% of it. I don't mean like what's causing it. I just mean the awareness in and around it, and that's what people are talking about, that it's in the air. There's going to be that time 15 years from now where we're all sitting back talking and going, remember that time when trenders were everywhere and every man was being accused left, right, and center of some kind of sexual attack on somebody? It's absolutely.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Or it's going to get worse and worse and we're all doomed. That could be a possibility.
That's true.
I hope you're right. Polly. That's all. I just hope you're right, because that would be more reassuring to me. That I won't breathe my last breath wondering, oh dear God, how many people that I've known are going to end up like mauled in the revolution.
Oh God.
So seriously, what do you think? Should I marry Renee Middlestat here, or Laura Harrier?
It's like a moment.
Yeah, I don't know. They're both rather bewitching, no?
I'm saying, man, like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, just that dress alone. Wow, damn, girl. And she's single.
Now, put that on my timeline instead of Victoria Bateman's Harry Cooch. Which, like I said, you know, I don't mind because, like I told you, you know, I grew up during a time when I'm saying, you know, when Harry Cooch was possible, you know, what popular. So it's like, shit, you know, I don't mind. I'll say I don't mind a Harry Cooch, but like I said, you know, the attention seeking can go. It's just in the end, it's like I don't think people are giving her interviews and shit like that. But the question is, are they taking her seriously? Are they interviewing her because they think, you know, she has a strong argument with anti-Brexit, or are they just doing it because they just want to see the, you know, the naked hairy feminists?
You actually stymied Polly there, Pat. All you got out of him was
like, yeah.
Hold on, I was hearing a strange echo of Prospero talking, and I'm like, where's that coming from? And it's like somehow I ended up turning the volume back on the stream, which I got up so I can see chat. And it's like, so I shut up because I was like, oh, I'm talking over Prospero, and it's like, no, I was talking over you from 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, sure. Big excuses.
I think there's going to be all kinds of articles about that. I think Mary Sue's got an article coming up. I think, you know, what's the trash UK newspaper?
The Mirror,
Daily Sun, the Sun.
Yeah, like just they're all
trash.
Every tabloid that's got a fucking bone to pick with Brexit that wants to take a side on it is going to write up an article. Like,
oh my God, people that want Brexit are so fucking racist. It's all about not wanting immigrants.
So stupid.
Fuck that noise.
Mm-hmm. People need to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
No, sure
I frankly do not understand the complexities of what's going on with Brexit. They got this hard deadline coming up. Yeah. What, March 23rd or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Daily Mirror, yeah.
Daily Mirror, thank you.
Daily Mirror for sure. That's
29.
That one.
Christ, isn't that Piers Morgan's old paper, for Christ's sake? Like the trash of the
May was against Brexit. She voted no Brexit in the first place, but she's the current Prime Minister. Maybe she won't be soon, but she was a no Brexiter. And
but I don't get it. They don't have a deal on the table, so it's going to be an ultra hard Brexit now. Like it's just gone with no deal.
She's out of her way to make up shit deals to bring to the EU. Now, no matter what you bring to them, the EU are going to say no because they're trying to make an example out of the UK, saying this is what happens when you leave us. But she's bringing shit deals anyway. So a lot of people now are saying we want a no-deal Brexit. That's like the best case scenario for like to start with. That was the worst case scenario. Okay, because like it's a power hold over Northern Ireland because that's the tracks with fucking trade and shit. But now people are going for the no-deal Brexit because the fucking deals were so bad that I think she's trying to sabotage it.
Oh, I know she is.
Yeah, she's a quisling. The problem has been Europe will not negotiate in good faith.
Oh.
You know, the EU won't. And Theresa May is a gormless twit. And so she, instead of going to Brussels, sitting down and saying, this is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt us. How can we make this happen with the least upset?
Come on, let's all be real here. She's a fucking golem of parliament.
Oh, she is, but Corbyn's worse. And that's the most.
But if she's a wannabe Remainer, so therefore the best option, considering that, like May said, this is the mandate from the people, so I got to go ahead and do it. So then the idea is, well, she's trying to perform the softest Brexit possible, so it's as close to a Remain as possible. Yeah, but exactly. Now that deal's been rejected and there's no deal on the table, so it's going to be the exact opposite of what she wanted, an ultra hard Brexit. How is that sabotage? Do you see why I'm confused?
Well, some have said that either she's the most incompetent or the most sly. Mostly it's incompetency, because
she's just fucking hopeless.
They hobbled the Brexit negotiator from the beginning. David Davis.
Oh, real quick, James Connolly, thanks for the 10. He says, damn, for some reason I didn't get a notification. Sorry, Dax. No need to apologize, my friend. I'm just glad you showed up.
It was a case of hobbling the negotiations from the beginning. And it's one of the issues with the referendum. You either have the people speak or you have your government speak. So it created a natural tension there. And the no Brexit people have been clamoring to have another vote. There are even people in the Tory party, the super wets, who would not mind, Ramoners, that would like to have the people's vote, as they call it, the way Ireland did. You know, Ireland voted not to play ball, and then they held 2 more elections till they scared everybody into submission.
You know what? I'm actually pleasantly surprised with you guys. Like, no offense, but usually Americans don't know anything outside their own country.
Do you know who my best friend is and how much he won't shut up about it? Like, I love Bear, but I've learned way too much about Britain.
Well, and I one of the things I like watching the most is Omegon's Cthulhu Ken and Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Prime Minister's questions.
Oh, and his voice just melts. You get so relaxed listening to his fucking political shows, honestly.
But I like the fact that he does the PMQs. So I've been watching those for a year. So I've been seeing the squawking and the carrying on and the whatnot. Yeah. And as an American, I feel that I come from Britain. I mean, our common law followed us. It inhabits a fair bit of our legal system. I mean, we have elements of Roman law in it, but we still, the thinkers that led to the American Constitution being drafted the way it was were predominantly British.
All the founding fathers thought of themselves as English.
Yeah,
like it's just, no American wants to see Britain go down. Stop joking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if they do, they really are a traitor to their own cause.
Yeah,
because
no American wants to see Jacob Rees-Mogg naked either, but that's what what's always going on.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah,
I'd rather see Jacob Rees-Mogg naked though than that.
That's what but that's what she's calling for. She wants to have a naked debate with him. It's like, nobody wants to see that. We barely want to see you naked, let alone.
Well, and the other thing is he would eviscerate her. I mean, it wouldn't matter. Nobody would be looking at his fruit bowl. They'd be paying attention to what he said because he has something to say. Mm-hmm. Where she's just like, we might not have sandwiches. We're going to have, she's doing that. The stupid stories that have come out from Project Fear, super gonorrhea. We're going to run out of drugs. There won't be fruit and veg and people will live shorter lives. Oh my God, there won't be meat for sandwiches. The sky will fall, chicken little, chicken little, chicken little. As if planes do not fly in and out of Britain every motherfucking day. From Canada, the US, Australia, New Zealand, that if for some reason Europe decided to just slam the door on Britain, we wouldn't be able to make sure they stayed afloat until they could remind Europe what they once were. I mean, there's a strong Commonwealth. Actually, it's almost been forgotten. It needs to be, Europe needs to be reminded of the number of Commonwealth states there are and what they could do to support Great Britain in the event that woe betide them all of a sudden Merkel just decided to go full Adolf. I don't get it. I don't get that scaremongering. Yeah, Britain's going to take a hit. But one thing they could do is they could lower their corporate taxes and lure businesses straight back off the continent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to the Europeans to set the Irish border. The EU is the one insisting on that. The UK isn't. But they keep going back to the Good Friday Agreement. They're trying to scare the Northern Irish into believing that the Troubles are going to break out again. And then you've got the fucking Scots that want to stay in the goddamn EU.
So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, like, when it's all said and done, like I'm saying, if they do decide to break away from from the EU, who is it going to hurt more? Is it going to hurt the EU? Or is it going to hurt the Is it going to hurt the UK?
It's going to hurt the EU. They're the second or third largest contributor to the budget of the EU.
UK is?
Uh-huh.
So that's now.
And the buying power is incredible. And the thing that made me know that Theresa May was a frigging quisling was when Trump went over there, basically told her she didn't know how to negotiate. But he functionally offered her a zero tariff deal with the U.S.
Which she should have fucking taken.
No kidding. Because what he was saying is, don't bother negotiating with those shitheads. I've met them. They don't negotiate in good faith.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-ta. And I've got a zero trade deal with the U.S., which functionally means old NAFTA states. Because if the U.S. is going to offer zero trade, you think Canada is going to levy tariffs? Of course they're not. And Mexico might want a piece of that fruit veg action. Hey, welcome back.
All right. My microphone had turned off. I didn't realize it, and I was about to scream. Prosper, if you cut me off one more fucking time. But before I did, I thought I would just do a little mic check. No, it didn't stop.
Thank God, because I didn't think that.
Real quick, James again, thank you for the $5. He says, I'm almost positive that as soon as the EU pulls out, Donald and US will slide back in, and which will get better quality of life there and half the bureaucratic bullshit.
The Democrats have already threatened to scupper a good deal with Great Britain.
Oh, good. I was worried people were getting bored with British politics.
But our Democratic House has a lot to say about trade deals, unfortunately. And they have already made veiled threats on behalf of the globalists against the UK.
Can you guys come and save us? We have a free trade agreement with China, and they're fucking us over because that's what China does, but our political leaders are fucking retards. So we'd love someone like President Trump over here to fix this shit, but we don't have any right-wing parties or conservative parties over here, unfortunately. We have a Liberal Party and a Labour Party, and Labour is far left. You can imagine what the Liberal Party is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to get rid of our Democrats first so they'll, have a door open so we can go through it.
I mean, but it made my blood run cold. I don't know if Bear saw any of that, Dax. I actually hope he didn't.
I don't think he did yet.
Because I think it was Pelosi who made some comments about, well, we'll just have to see because of our partnership with Europe and that kind of thing. And I thought, look, Trump went over there, tossed some Skittles on the table, said, shut up.
Put Skittles on the table. I'll go over there and negotiate a deal.
It was actually Starburst, I think.
Oh, you motherfucker.
But it was, I mean, he apparently did give Merkel candy. That wasn't a meme.
That's awesome.
And it's, well, but that's how you negotiate with brats.
Mm-hmm.
Are you playing trick or treat here, or are we actually working on a trade deal? And I'm actually sorry that Brexit went so sideways before the House was lost to the Republicans, because that would have meant even a stronger position for the British. But, May is such a goddamned Ramoner. Most of the Tories are.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm shutting up.
Sorry. Just quickly, Duck Dog. I know we have to have a prime minister that serves a full term, but unfortunately we don't vote for the prime minister. We vote for the party. The party is the one that chooses the leader of their party, and the leader of their party becomes prime minister. It's up to the party whether they want to change the leader of their own party or not. So we don't have a choice on who is the prime minister, just what party is leading. So you can blame those fuckwits there. We've not had a prime minister sit a full term since, I don't know, the end of 2007. Like, it's fucked. We need a complete overhaul. Or you guys can come and tell them off for us if you like.
Well, the British had the same system. I mean, Theresa May ended up being prime minister because Michael Gove stabbed Boris Johnson in the back. Because Boris stood a pretty good chance of becoming prime minister. But Michael Gove, a.k.a. Wormtongue, stabbed him in the back. Polly, is your mic working?
Yep.
Okay. Thought I'd check.
Are you just going to like periodically check now?
I don't want you cursing me in darkness when I.
For all I know, he's yelling.
I don't know. The politics has always been a land of stupid, but the way it's turning out lately, it's like we can't even have a conversation with anyone else anywhere else because the hatred factor, that wasn't really a big thing before. Why is it all of a sudden the biggest thing known to man?
Because people are fucking retards. And their like soy hippie mothers drug them with some sort of mind control drug. Like, there's been studies actually done that, when it comes to fucking feminism, cults, and religious things, like, they all have the fucking same mentality, the same like things to draw people in, the same cult atmosphere. And it's also been proven that like people that choose the Democrat far left side, their brains aren't mature enough yet to consider everything on the table. Like, they're not fully developed, so they're not intellectually developed enough. It's usually people that are older and have more developed brains that go to either center or right of center or right. And that's been scientifically proven. It's also been scientifically proven that if you have a child in full-time daycare 7 days a week, fucking 12 hours, 8 hours a day, they lack a maternal bond and do not connect with people properly, and it's detrimental to them growing up, and they turn into people like Antifa.
It's just it's fucked. James Colley again for the $5 says to you, Dork, says, Dork, don't be afraid of China. Fucking all-American dick is much bigger. LOL. Also, do you feel like doing the phrase? I do believe he did donate to Monkey to hear the phrase, and he never got it.
Did he?
Yeah. Remember you said, maybe later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Denied.
Daddy. Happy?
And every man in the room got a little bit happier.
You know what I find interesting about that? You're kind of a little bit of a hypocrite there, Dax. You don't. Well, yeah, you don't like them titty streamers, but you're okay with taking money for daddy sayings.
Yeah, because I'm taking from a friend essentially.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't get into the whole daddy thing, man. I guess because I'm a father.
I think it's creepy. Like, I don't like doing it. I wouldn't personally say it to a guy, but for some reason, I don't know. Someone asked me to say mummy that way once.
That was so weird.
Ugh.
We don't really like it. Like, most of us here don't like the whole daddy thing, but it's more the inflection that gets us happy. So until we find a better word, daddy it is.
If you're doing it for like dorky reasons and things like that, somebody just wants to hear you say it, but it's like if you're having sex and all of a sudden, like a woman calls you daddy, that's just gonna kill it for me. It's like, I'd rather you drop the N-bomb on me than to call me daddy. That's just how bad it is,
Like, I've seen your daddy. Why do I want to be referred to him as that?
Who told that fucking story? Someone told me a story where like there was a chick that was so full on into the daddy thing that it was like sometimes like she would queef during sex, and the chick would say, "It's talking to you, daddy."
That's so
like,
weird.
What the fuck?
That would just totally kill me. Like I'm saying, because the first thing that's going to happen, I'm gonna start envisioning my two daughters, and the last thing I want to do is envision my daughters while I'm banging somebody. It's just like, nope, can't do it.
Absolutely. That's just, it's a little strange.
Now, if I didn't have kids, I don't know. I'd probably be into it.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I can understand that, actually. That's you brought a whole new realm of creepiness to it. I don't have kids, but wow. Yeah. No.
But to each their own. It's like I'm not gonna dog nobody who's who does that right there. It's just like it's not my cup of tea.
Fair enough.
No,
I mean, some people love it, but I have no interest in it either.
I rarely kink shame. I think the only time I ever kink shame is when it comes to like the littles.
When it comes to what?
Littles.
Like monkey being after fucking midgets?
No, not those littles. Like the people who they act like kids. They have like they have like the mommy and the daddy down. What do they call them besides littles? There's a saying for them.
I have no doubt there's a scene for that, because I mean you'll run across some weird shit on Pornhub by accident, and it just the littles. I mean that just screams I need therapy to me. I just whew.
So funny.
There are things that I thought I'd escape this life ever knowing.
No.
No. Just
You're our friend, dude. You're going to hell.
Yeah, because it's like part of the BDSM community, so that's a subscribe to lane. What it is like for the littles and things like that, it's either a man or a woman that sits up here and just acts like either an infant or a little kid and all that right there, and they have like a caregiver. I mean, they go the whole entire 9 yards, like the baby gear, the cribs, the pacifiers, the diapers, and all that right there, and they act like kids, the whole Google Gaga. They'll fucking have their diapers changed and shit like that. But the thing is, some of them just take it that way, while others, they take it. They take it to a higher level where they're having sex with them and things like that. It's like no. Like well, yeah, like the caregivers are actually having sex with the littles and this and right there, and they're calling them daddy and mommy and all that right there. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like weird right there.
Kinda. You can just go ahead and call it weird. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think anyone's going to debate.
Mike's been fucking muted this whole time.
Yeah, it's a huge, gigantic community out there, and it's like and if people criticize them, they come on a fucking attack.
Look, man, I know it's called age play and shit, but
age play. Thank you. That's what it is.
And with them, they're fucking creepy. As long as they're not touching children, it's fine. But ugh.
See, I don't like because like I told you, in my in my opinion, it's kind of like to me, it's like what I call loophole pedophilia. It's like it's like people who actually want to do this, but they just found like a loophole-ish type of way. And I'm afraid like the more they do it and things like that, it's kind of like like building themselves up to like do the actual thing. That's why I don't like the whole age thing.
So you think it's like more like practice for them?
Yeah, practice and practice for the real thing.
I feel the same way. I don't like being lumped in with those people with the BDSM stuff. Like, I don't think that's BDSM because it's normal sex, right? They're just pretending to be a kid.
That's just messed up, though.
Because I'm just saying, like, who can get off on having sex with a grown ass person, acting like a child, like
that's
Google Gaga fuck me daddy. Like, no, that's not attractive.
I mean, there's the whole point, right? Like where's it's like, okay, you get off on it like as like acting like a kid. It's like, so you're acting all infantile. How's the other person into it? I mean, there's all sorts of angles I don't understand about this thing.
Sorry.
Or the one who's acting like the mom and stuff like that, bouncing on the little baby and stuff like that. Talking about, yeah, you've been a naughty little child. How dare you sew your diaper? It's just like picturing that right there.
Another thing that's super fucking gross about it is like some women prefer to be completely shaven down there. You just feel a lot cleaner. it's like a lot prettier to us. It's a lot less to deal with. But if you think about it in age play terms, being completely shaven down there is fucking wrong. It just like I understand guys wanting a little bit of hair down there, but some girls don't like having hair down there. But just thinking about the age play shit when it comes to that,
does.
What the fuck?
But she's not even. I mean that's some matted business that hasn't had attention paid to it. That's some lack of trim. What was going on there?
Yeah, even trim and stuff like. But some girls just like it completely gone. That's all. It feels a lot cleaner.
I know, and that got popular around like what, the late 80s.
Oh yeah, I was all for it, but then I got lazy. You know, like I keep it short and stuff. I just can't be fucked sitting there for ages, like getting rid of it all.
Yeah, and then there's the argument, like I'm saying, that that pubic hair helps like reduce like STDs and all that right there. Which
bullshit.
I haven't looked at the studies, but it's like that's been the argument.
I don't believe that.
Real quick, James Colley, again with fiber. Thank you. It's a fetish when fetish with in BDSM sub. Wow, this is going to be hard to say. BDSM subsect of subs. Thank you. Being called
what?
BDSM subsect of subs.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, not happening. Being called littles. The only reason I ask her to do it is to A, wake up the stream, and B, it's cute to hear. I promise it's not for any sexual purpose. And if she had a Streamlabs with credit card, he'd just pay her directly.
Oh yeah, it's cute to hear. Like I said, it was hot.
Yeah, we're not complaining. Nobody here is complaining about the daddy thing in the sense that it sounds awesome.
No, we're just complaining about the creepy age play people. Like, I don't mind saying mommy or daddy like that on stream. It's just the people that are just like, oh, yeah, baby, act like 5-year-old for me. Like,
yeah, because it's cute when she says daddy, especially with the accent, you know, daddy.
It's pretty good. Yeah, no one's complaining about that. We promise you. Nobody here took it as you're doing anything other than getting here to do something cutesy.
Oh, no, don't take away my credit card, daddy.
I have a Streamlabs and stuff. Been linking it.
Yeah, but he you don't accept credit card where that's where he sends all his stuff.
Oh, it's PayPal. I can fix that.
Yeah, you got to add a credit card exception, or otherwise it won't let you.
Oh, you can put credit card details into PayPal.
He could. I don't know if he's just been paying the credit card. I won't even see it for a couple days, but I'm still grateful. Do not take me in the wrong direction.
How it all works as well.
Dax just, he wants that money for the streamers are usually getting. It's fine. It's fine.
I am not in this for the money at all. I do this because I like you guys and I like having conversations. So money's a nice little treat.
If I can make money in this in the future, shoot, yeah, it's an added bonus.
I thought about it and it's like I was setting up a Streamlabs, right? And it's like, yeah, but the money's going to be so minimal to begin with, and then I realized no, it's not a matter of it being minimal. I know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm never going to undigitize it, meaning transfer to my bank account where it could be withdrawn as cash. I'm just going to re-donate it to other fucking streamers that I like.
Good way.
You know what I mean? It's like if I get a whole bunch of stuff on combo curation on my channel, once I get Streamlabs set up, I'm just going to go, hey monkey, here's $2. No comment. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, truth be told, I use most of the donations. I use my donations for my Lyft rides because while when I go to work, I like to do it in a manner which I don't lose an hour and a half of sleep, so I have to wake up early to take a bus. But I can do that. That doesn't bother me so much. It's the fact that when I'm ordered to close, the buses stop running about a half hour before I get out of work, so there'd be no way for me to take it, and it'd be a nice 2-hour walk home. So this helps cover those costs, and I can close more on a shift that I'm needed more. That's going to guarantee me the right hours, and I'm cool with that. So you guys actually help me work, you bastards. Give me more so I can quit. Jesus.
Yeah, That I like to use the money to help improve my channel, to get better equipment to popularize and bring more content to people who like to watch me.
Yeah. It would be nice to get a non-potato computer, but whatever.
I'm working with what I got.
Yeah.
Hey, Camel asked the Bogan to say the life of the wife is ended by the knife. I'm glad you got that, Polly.
Oh gosh, the life of the wife is ended by the knife.
Love it.
Remember the heavy duty Manchester accent that Stewie's friend was talking with? The way
life of the wife is ended by the knife. And here's what you sound like. Moo.
Yeah. It was Prospero. It was a Family Guy rips off every idea they have, and that in that episode they ripped off Pygmalion. It was Stewie.
The life of the wife is ended by the knife.
He's trying to teach a classless girl how to have class. Stewie was. Yeah.
Or ripping off My Fair Lady for people who haven't read Pygmalion or
right.
Yeah. the steps of popular culture.
Yeah, it's not a ripoff. It was a homage. Let's go with that.
And them homages.
Hey, I like homages.
I know it's so funny when you say homage, people look at you and what are you being uppity for? Well, it's like that's how it's pronounced.
you know the one that I always get the look at for is devotee.
Yes.
And people are like, oh, fancy. And I'm like, okay, but look at the way it's spelled. I'm not saying devotee.
Yeah, that's right.
Like with the double E's on the end, it would be devotee.
It's like divorcee.
Right, yeah, you just can't help but sound fancy, you know. It's there's no way to win. Is it, so poll in the crowd here. Do you say foyer or foyer?
Foyer.
White trash. I say foyer.
You say foyer. I've noticed that it's not even regional. It just depends on like a million different things. Like who the fuck knows? Like I thought, oh, maybe it's people in the Midwest, maybe it's people in the Northeast. No, man, there doesn't seem to be a pattern.
A friend of mine who has a master's degree in interior design said that she always thought that unless it was directly how it was spoken in your household, that a lot of people were saying foyer to sound poncy. That the bulk of Americans said foyer. The same with chaise long. They don't say chaise long. You know, and in the South they say chaise lounge.
Right. Yeah.
They flip the U around. And I mean, when I was little, I thought those long things that were set out on the porch where you could adjust the back were called chaise lounges. And then I found out it was chaise long because it's not even spelled lounge.
But there doesn't seem to be a pattern to it because you'll hear people say niche instead of niche, and they'll go, oh, niche if you want to say it like a European, and it's like you don't call it a klitsch, you call it a cliche.
Right.
So
I
don't
pronounce the word where it comes from.
A pattern here.
Well, we don't say facade, we say facade.
Facade.
Well, my father was listening to a bunch of jackasses at a meeting one time, and they were talking about people mispronouncing things, and they were being particularly snotty about education. And my father liked to take the piss out of people like that. Mm-hmm. So he deliberately said, "Oh, Garkin." And honest to God, everybody at the table turned to my father and said, Will, it's pronounced garçon. And he said, what? You mean that's what that little weird hook under the C is?
Garkin.
and then they began, he said, I began to see the pennies drop around the table when I said the weird little hook under the C.
Right.
And he was like, guys, just because I grew up in Virginia doesn't mean there wasn't French in my high school. Oh, okay, sorry. But, they were being elitist talk. They may have been talking about we really shouldn't accept people from non-Ivy League law schools, which my dad was like, okay, am I supposed to retire now?
Yeah, I mispronounced shit on purpose. James Colley just corrected me here. It's foyer, not foyer. Fair enough. There you go.
What about Versace?
Versace.
Yeah.
That's just ratchet. That's
But remember Garrison Keillor used to do a bit about, as a kid, he thought they were the Egyptians, because how are you supposed to tell when you're reading whether it's a hard or soft G?
Yeah.
And it made sense because every single one of us remembers when we learned the word island. It was like Island. island. Okay, that's how island spelled. Why? Yeah, it's just, the typical kid. Why? Why is there an S there? Why wouldn't you spell it ILAND?
It's like aisle, like walk down the aisle in a movie theater. Like Isley? Like what the fuck what kind of spelling is that?
I say Islay.
Mm-hmm. and it's true. I mean, when kids learn to speak our native tongue, we bump up against this stuff. I can't imagine what it's like to learn English as a second language.
And then anybody who's ever gotten into Scotch, having the tripping over Gaelic or wherever the fuck combination of
Gaelic,
whatever combination of languages or that it vestigially holds on from, where it's not Islay, it's Isla, and it's like, damn it, I've worked so hard to learn how to say my words,
because we're like, it's got to be the Isle of Islay, right? No,
exactly. It's the Isle of Isla, and it's what the fuck is with you spelling it that way?
You jackasses, And then there are things like Glenmorangie, which we might pronounce Glenmorangie because of how we tend to put the emphasis on the syllables, and it's it's Glenmorangie. Okay, that's easier than completely with the pronunciation
there's the one that Inquisitor loves busting my balls over. I will say pronunciation until the day I die
instead of pronunciation.
I'm not going to ever say pronunciation,
even though it's pronunciation.
Where's Kara when we need all this pronunciation?
I know.
I love when she pronunciates.
That whole Vienna sausage thing. But having lived around people who called them Vienna sausages, I asked her, I said, does your family call those Vienna sausages? And she said, yes. And I was like, that's why you were having so much trouble. And it was coming out Vanini.
Yeah. Vanini's,
Vanina.
Yeah, Vanina.
And that's still her server name in a couple rooms. Because Vanina, and I was like, that's a command in Spanish to go girl. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? And she almost fell apart in Galapagos the other day. But I just went Galapagos, and she went Galapagos. But she knew why the Galapagos Islands were important. And I was like, okay, that's more important than knowing how to pronounce it.
Knowing how to pronounce it.
But bless her heart, she's like our crash test dummy for pronunciation.
I love her, man. She's so much fun.
And she's so good-natured about it. I would just be like, you people are shitheads, and leave if somebody gave me as much trouble as we give her.
Oh, real quick, James Colley again with the fiber. In current culture, there's only one letter that matters, whether it's a hard or soft. Depending on hard or soft, it can ruin your life, and that letter is R.
How would it ruin your life?
And bombs.
Tagged you is. Oh! Thank you.
Oh my god.
Thank you. The N word. Like when Pat said it, I was like, "What? You'd rather be told no during sex?"
That is the worst word to hear during sex because that means it's over.
But it's so funny because the way people will say the N word, you start thinking, what other word could I substitute for that to just screw with people?
Like what? Never?
No more.
See, my thing was, like I said, my argument when I see a lot of people, like basically like talking about, like the dreaded N word and all that right there, they talk about the pronunciation, like, oh, they're saying "gur," we're saying "God," and I'm like, no. When you really think about it, if you really listen to how a lot of black people talk, like you actually are saying "God," you're just too damn lazy to pronunciate it all the way through, because it's like you take any ER word. Any ER word, and have a black person with broken down English say it, and it's always going to end. It's always going to end with "ah." brother, sister, mother, father, other. You take any of those right there, man. It's always going to end with ah. So technically, we are saying we're just too damn lazy to pronunciate it.
It's just talking Australian, like brother, sister, mother, tiger, like they're just trying a different accent.
Well, you gotta. I mean, come on. That's it. I don't understand why it's got to be, all complicated like that. It's like that word, like it's used as a swear. It's a cuss. That's it's like, oh, we're re-owning it. No, you're using it as a cuss. It's clear, like where it falls in sentences and how you're saying it. You can call your friend a stupid son of a bitch, and that's fine because he's your friend. Don't call a stranger that. Don't call a stranger a motherfucker, but you can say to your best friend, you're a funny motherfucker. It makes sense. So you're using it as, and you wouldn't talk that way in front of your mother, would you? Would you drop N-bombs in front of your mother? No, you wouldn't. You're just using it as a swear. It's fine. And it's particularly offensive when it comes from a white person because it sounds like you're swearing at me with the worst of all swears you could use. There, that makes sense. Leave all this cultural reappropriation of the word out of it because it just, fuck. That's overthought sociology.
Yeah, it's an excuse.
Yeah. How can I justify using this word when it's such an ugly word? Because all curses are ugly words, man. Just that's the point of them.
They're not ugly words here. Here, swear words are beautiful in everyday language.
That's why with me, like I say, it just doesn't faze me anymore because I'm just like, well, it's just a word. You know what I'm saying? Like if I sit up here and I let that word, constantly get me hell bent out of shape, and then guess what? The person who said that word against me, shows that, hey, I got power over you, and I don't give them that satisfaction. Matter of fact, I don't even give them that stuff at all. Like even when a white person has said that word towards me in that disrespectful type of way, and I'm like, and what's your point? What am I supposed to do? Bitch slap you?
Yeah, well.
I'm just gonna laugh at you and say, like, man, that all you got? Like, if it is, man, that's the worst. That's the worst of the worst that you can go right there. And I'm gonna continue to do me. That's gonna piss them off even worse. Like, damn, really? I done dropped the N-bomb in front of his face and stuff like that in a disrespectful way, and he's still like,
So Jacob thinks I'm really old, and James Colley agrees. Okay. That's weird. I don't get what you're going with that, but all right.
Well, that's okay because he was like, wait, Prospero's a girl. And then the ginger stuff started. And now you're really old when I'm damn near 30 years older than you are. So this is getting interesting.
SDA thought I was 62 apparently. So.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of black people, they hold on to that because if they take that in that sociology, that or psychology or whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. It's like if they take in, that thing right there that it's just a word and like we should stop being offended by that, then they would have to take responsibility for a lot of things that they don't want to take responsibility for.
Just out of ignorance, like complete ignorance, why is it when black people go to university and decide to go SJW, they go well back to the 70s style of dress and hair?
Do not know. I guess because that's when the revolution really happened,
Oh.
The old, like I'm saying, like down with the brown and black power and pump the black fist in the air and all that right there.
Although that was the 60s.
Yeah, they want to dress like it, but they don't want to go back to that. They don't want to go back to that. No, they don't. Which is a lot of people, they want to act like it, but they don't really want to experience that.
They wouldn't even know it hit them if they experienced that.
No, because they're entitled, they're overprivileged.
Yeah, the people who want to be oppressed, who would just lose their minds if they could get shot back in a time machine at what oppression really meant.
But there's the thing that I find so odd and concerning about it, because it's like, yeah, okay, I can sit there and say, 15 years from now, we're going to be laughing about it. Yeah, well, I don't really think I get concerned that we're not, that it's just going to get more and more, because there's no denying that playing for oppression and calling oppression points out for yourself or claiming them for yourself does have a lot of power. It shuts people up fast. What are you, a racist? No. I'm not a racist. Like it's powerful. It's a big stick to wield. You know what I mean? Why would you ever expect someone to give that up?
Well, they're overusing it now, and the one problem with intersectionality is the way they've built the oppression stack. If one segment out of that stack decides we're not playing anymore, the whole thing collapses. And then it's this writhing snake pit of Ouroboroses. Because if you look within the feminist movement, the snake's already eating its own tail. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really are involved in who is a real feminist. And if you're not an intersectional feminist, then you're leaving your black sisters behind. And then, wait a minute, somebody's going to have to come in and virtue signal on behalf of the Native American sisters because the Asian sisters moved on and said, we're not interested in playing. And, so the feeding frenzy gets smaller and smaller.
Except for Sarah Zhang. Remember her from New York Times? She got the job as the editor. And you look at her Twitter account, and it's all full of just what for anyone else would just be called hate, or a huge chip on her shoulder, whatever. And it's like, oh, well, it's justified. She went into all this oppression speak, and the New York Times justified it with a whole bunch of social stack talk of like hiring somebody who looks like every outward appearance they got a huge chip on their shoulder and a lot of shit they can get away with saying. And it seems to be fine because, well, she's Asian. She suffered oppression. And I remember the talk on social media, especially on Twitter, people were like, yeah, but she's Asian. They do better than literally every single demographic in the United States. What are you talking about?
You're an editor at the goddamn New York Times, and you're complaining about being oppressed.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. It's like, wait a minute. That's not the grocery clerk at Food Lion.
But that's what I'm saying. Why? But it worked. And CNN repeated it because it worked. MSNBC repeated it because it worked. So did ABC. I remember that. It's powerful. Why would you ever expect someone to stop using it? And that's what worries me. Because it's like...
But look at who's dying. The mainstream media is dying. They're in competition for clicks with PewDiePie. I mean, why do you think the Journal was so upset?
I'm sorry, it still makes me laugh. It's still he's a fucking game reviewer who tells really bad spicy jokes. Like he's clobbering like the multi-million dollar institutions of news.
Have a news segment now.
Yeah.
I think he's been blackpilled more than he ever got red. He woke up to the way the game was being played, and what the Wall Street Journal did was gross and petty. They ran behind his back. They went to Disney. They went, look, Dad, look, and then came back and tried to be all smug about it when it turned out that they're calling him a Nazi. And one of the guys that wrote the story, his Twitter history had a couple really horrible Holocaust jokes in it.
But we're talked about for a couple days, then moving on.
Well, because their Wall Street Journal was going to bury it the minute they found out that Rutrow. It's like the way they tried to send the Sarah Zhang stuff down the memory hole.
Yeah.
The problem is, how many online subscribers did New York Times lose doing that? Because people,
I don't know.
I'm done. I'm not looking anymore.
Do you think any? I don't know. Do you think they actually lost paper subscriptions over that?
I doubt they lost. Well, they're already losing paper subscriptions hand over fist because people aren't taking the piece of paper. So it's all becoming the digital war, which is why what's happening in Silicon Valley and the restriction of access for certain people outside the mainstream media. They're favoring, YouTube is clearly favoring Jimmy Kimmel over Sargon.
Christ, I hate that opening page on YouTube. When you open it up, it's Kimmel and Colbert and that fucking Chicken Wings, Hot Ones show, and it's safe, and fuck Trump. That's what every single video. It's like, these aren't authentic trends. Fuck you.
But you look at the subscriber counts that the non-mainstream media fan people have, and you add that all up. Yes, there's some overlap. You'll have to, we all know that there's plenty of overlap, but How many subscribers does PewDiePie have?
Over 80 million.
Yeah, 89 million. Wall Street Journal. I mean, hell, none of the mainstream media has that kind of visibility. None of them do.
That's probably why they're so salty.
What is?
I think it is a big part of why they're salty, but it speaks volumes as to the response. So how can we discredit this person? He's a racist. See what I mean? Big stick.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, but all it did was increase the subscribers. I mean, it completely backfired on them. And
Yeah, because we're not listening believers.
that's it. And I think because of alternate media sites, now granted, a lot of people are buying into fake shit on both sides. You know, you go on Facebook and there's just all kinds of fakery on the right, just like there is on the left. Same thing on Twitter. It's getting harder to check news sources. At least I find it is.
Mm.
And I have to run it through what I already know is the bullshit filter attached to that media source. Like I can go to The Guardian and it's like, okay, I'm not looking at your opinion stuff. I'm going to look at your news stuff. I can go to CNN and look to their hard news reporters, but not to most of what CNN publishes. It gets tougher and tougher. Like if you read something in the Washington Post, you need to know that Dana Milbank is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know that he's a manipulator. That's harder and harder to find. And Snopes is not a fact checker. Hell, PolitiFact has thrown their hat in a partisan arena. Obviously, these so-called fact-checking places aren't worth the digital ink they're using because they're partisan. It's like it's by design that we're getting more polarized.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you get the people reading about filthy centrists. We're by and large on a genuine political measurement scale, not the straight compass, because that doesn't actually work. Most people are wobbling around the middle because they just can't be asked to pick one side or the other.
I mean, those are the people that are doing the most of the voting. I think that's why you saw the confusion from the mainstream media so much over the 2016 election. Results. It's just, what the hell? How did this happen?
Well, who ran the most polarizing campaign? And that'll show you why that person lost. Not in hard, raw, full numbers. We all know what the popular vote said. But large enough percentages across the rest of the country were like, you called us what?
Well, Hillary Clinton had two massive dips in her poll numbers, in her aggregated poll numbers. One was when she made the speech where she said half of Donald Trump's supporters are the deplorables, the infamous deplorables line. She's a seasoned professional politician. What the fuck was she thinking? Jesus Christ. She didn't write that speech, and that's fine. How did you okay it? You're the final editor. Someone as sharp as her. She's not a stupid lady. And like I said, she's a seasoned politician. She should have goddamn well known better. Half of Donald Trump's supporters, you just called dozens of millions of people deplorable. You fucking moron.
They thought that the racist meme attached to Trump was going to stick. They did, and it didn't. Because I would wager that most people don't look at their neighbor and go, you're a racist. They just don't. They don't think that way because they've been living next door to that person for 20 years and they've never had a conflict with them. I mean, we're able to behave civilly in society. You don't see fistfights breaking out in grocery stores. People for the most part. I mean, yeah, there will be like screaming lunatic vape store guy who'll lose his shit over a shirt. But he's been triggered by overconsumption of social media telling him he needs to be, a slacktivist.
And then so of course the other major drop that was even more so than the Deplorable's comment speech was 1 week before the election when Comey announced he was reopening the investigation temporarily because of the additional 30,000 emails. Because it was like, and to me, that was like, just, what did you expect people to react like? I mean, this is the Crooked Hillary nickname come to full life. You know what I mean? It's how many times did you say you had handed over all your emails, Hillary? How many times? This is like the 4th time another 30 or 60,000 fucking emails had been found somewhere. Oh, they were all repeats. It doesn't matter, but it got people thinking again. Jesus Christ, this fucking woman.
Well, Anthony Weiner, the most unlikely man on earth, ended up saving democracy. You know, I mean, it's like, it's if it had not been for that kind of careless handling of material among these elitists who think they're untouchable. No, what did they get about Wiki? I mean, the whole WikiLeaks thing. Did they really think that you can carry around that kind of stuff without somebody getting access? If they know that you're in orbit around the political power, you don't think those computer files weren't being hit, searched, fished? Because these morons have passwords like password?
I like to think that wasn't a rumor.
I'd like to think it wasn't either, because it would just make me terrifically happy to have what I already think about these people borne out to be true.
Exactly. Your password was password, and you're in charge of a presidential campaign, huh? This was this guy's big security, and I love the story around it. It's like, how did you buy into a phishing attempt at all? Like, nobody ever does that. And it's like, well, he had been asleep and he just woke up, and it's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Real quick, James called again with the 2. He said, did I hear someone sexually gratifying a robot? Did no one even bother listening to my PSA? I think he's referring to Dorky's vaping.
What?
I'm pretty sure you're the one vaping, unless it's Polly.
No, not me.
Polly, you son of a bitch.
I am not taking responsibility.
I will
be. He's not sexually pleasuring a robot. He promises beep, boop, beep, beep, boop.
Shut up, Rosie. My rental agreement does not allow me to smoke in the house or have pets. That's why I don't have a dog.
Lies.
No, I don't have a dog. What?
No, I mean, you just lie in general.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh, by the way, Prospero, thank you for complimenting me there at the end of Monkey's stream that I lie with great fluency. Ouch.
Well, you do. Are you blaming Jack for the stream starting late?
That boy needs to learn to take responsibility for his tardiness someday.
See what I mean, people? This is how he lies with fluency. It is not I. It is my reptilian overlord that causes me to be late. God. It's the old blame Jack theory. And that's all I meant. We all know that you're fibbing, if you would prefer that term.
Fibbing. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Well, you are blowing smoke up our ass.
I don't know. I got it. I know how you know, for anyone who's been on Lords of the Night, right? Like, you see how they are before the stream. When we're getting together to do comic book curation, that's when we're getting the stories together. You know, like opening the tabs and then typing out what's going to be on the stream and the subtext and everything like that, and then getting the Twitter thing ready, because I don't have it set up automatically because I want to put the custom thumbnail for each stream with the tweet that's going out saying we're starting live now. And yeah, we get together right around time where if we only needed 15 minutes, we'd be fine. But we end up taking like an hour and a quarter to get our shit straight. And I don't know. Those Lords of the Night guys, man, they've got it down to a fucking science. They can just get started and launch right into it. And their discussion is general, or ours is a little bit more specific. So in terms of topic range, I mean, you know, So anyway, that's what, and then I also show up late sometimes. There's also that.
Sometimes.
Yeah. On occasion.
Hey, Campbell says we all know that Polly's late to the streams because he has to wash his smoking jacket before he can start.
I've tried telling people before, it's dry clean only. I don't know why this. Seriously, vintage velvet? Would you throw that in a washing machine? No.
Nope.
Oh no.
That's the only vintage piece of clothing I own, actually. I was at a vintage shop with my then girlfriend, and she was, you know, girls when they're around clothes. She was looking at everything, stuff she didn't even want to buy. You know, they are. And I got bored, so I went over to the men's section. That's when I found that smoking jacket. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. This is, yeah.
What are you doing?
Sorry.
It's like she's reorganizing the room.
Fucking jumping over everything. I'll mute.
Nah, it's all right. You know you're still alive.
It was either that or she was flopping on the floor having a seizure.
She's fishtailing. It's all good.
You hear that sound, Stacks?
No.
If you prepare beforehand, that doesn't happen.
First and foremost, I'm actually still trying to find a good final story because Bear should be waking up soon, and I think he wants to stream.
Well, you know, I was going through Reddit, but the subject changed.
You were. You can still go back and do that because I would like to end on a really big note.
Okay.
I keep getting stuck back to the dark jokes.
I'll have to find something quickly. I kind of got out of it. So, what's a disgusting story that you guys have? Like, have you guys gotten weirdo fucking chicks before?
Weirdo chicks? No, I got a semi-goth chick once, and that was pretty fun.
Ooh. Fucking Rabbit instead of fucking Reddit. Jesus.
Rabbit? I'm sure there's a rabbit.com. It's probably moderated by Shu. Like, I like bunnies as much as the next person, but I honestly think that if she could be reborn a rabbit, she'd do it.
No, I like bunnies, you know.
Yeah, I like bunnies too. But she
now that Twitter allows me to post them now without censoring them.
Playboy bunnies.
Oh my God, this camera sucks. Anyway. Old computers suck.
Yeah, you guys need to upgrade.
Yeah.
Vortex asked if I caught the Tug and Flash stream last night. Yeah, I did, and I downloaded it. I'm going to double check with Flash and DMs if he's okay with me reposting it, because that needs to be talked about. Even Renfamous weighed in on it. There's this thing going on where they're dogpiling on somebody in Comicsgate right now, trying to, like, you should see they put together a Google Doc of all of the alleged things. Like, it's a hashtag Me Too kind of thing, right? That this guy's been going to comic book convention after comic book convention, supposedly filling up girls and being all, like, you know, super creepy and this, that, and the third. And you should see the pieces of, quote, evidence that are in this Google Doc. It's like, he shook my hand and held on to it a little bit too long, if you know what I mean. Like, it was it was frustrating to listen to. And it's Yellow Flash, as we were talking about, has this tendency to, like, he'll put up a stream, and then once the stream's done, that's it. If you don't have the link, he takes it down, because that's how he rolls. That's how he runs his channel. So, but he said he's going to leave it up as unlisted if anybody wanted to get it and repost it somewhere else, because all the stuff that they're going through is just, see, this is how they are. You know what I mean? And the anti-comic skaters are people that are trying to point it. Everybody who doesn't like social justice comics is a Nazi, like, because they're all over Twitter, these people. And they're all, like, jumping on the dog pile too. It's a little wild.
Yeah.
It's always the check marks too, I swear.
Yeah, always. And like I said, you know, the stuff that he's being accused of and stuff like that, it's like, it's ridiculous. And there's no proof of him doing anything wrong.
I don't, like, if somebody's fucking around and taking advantage of, like, impressionable girls and the whole thing, it's like, what, you don't think I want that guy to go down too? You think you're, what, like, angrier than other people are about it? No, you're not. You're on a deeper war path that has more to do with protecting people. It's got to do with other things than just protecting people, you know? Did I hear about the bitch who tried to Photoshop false evidence? No, I didn't. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh my God. Yeah, that stream was like 2.5 hours long, and I only caught like the last hour of it. That's why I was happy that Yellow Flash left it up so I could go catch the beginning. And I downloaded it, but I haven't gone back and had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, Snub, that's what I was thinking too. Is like he does look like he's an idiot and he skirts the line a lot, but it doesn't look like he's ever done anything over that line. You know, now he didn't take like a 14-year-old into his trailer or nothing.
Yeah.
Yet, all the male allies out of Comicsgate,
oh my god,
might just turn out to be as creepy as the male allies out of Gamergate turned.
You know,
out to be.
it's funny you say that, because it's like it's wild how these like moralizing people that just keyboard warriors is love pointing their finger at people and like condemning. That's what they want to do, right? That sanctimonious condemnation of people. It's like whatever the situation is, whatever the genre is, there's a Michael Rowlands in every one. There's you know what I mean? There's a Kevin Logan in every one. And now Kevin Logan's trying to come over to Comicsgate to be relevant again. There's always someone to point at Bearing and call him a rape apologist for asking legitimate questions. You know what I mean? It's
Zoe Quinn should have faded into obscurity, but her name still gets brought up.
In Comicsgate too. You know why? Because she's writing a comic of her own. Why her? She's never written a comic before in her life. She's never written a piece of fiction before in her life. Why her?
Stunning and brave. That's why.
Sorry. Yeah.
Andy Brain. The only thing Zoe Quinn is really known for is having a good head game. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. She sucked her way into fame. That's what it is.
She hoovered it.
Oh,
makes sense.
You're all misogynists. You hear yourselves. Hear yourselves. And meanwhile, all the male allies, like good little biological examples of what's called the sneaky fucker in evolution.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the beta that sneaks behind the lines masquerading as the female turns into the utter creep.
And Ryan Walters makes a point. I want to point out the same narrative wouldn't work. You know, if Vic, and that's the target of all of this, Vic, was an open homosexual. And it's like, yeah, probably not. I mean, it didn't really work for, maybe not. Like, it didn't work for Kevin Spacey when he tried. I want to live as an openly gay man now. Like, it's like, yeah, okay, now what's that got to do with you creeping on the 15-year-old boy or whatever the fuck?
I'm so surprised George Takei got away with like scot-free with all the stuff he did.
Great example. Like, it's a toss-up. It's a dice roll. Because yeah, George Takei just like admitted to it, and he's cool. He's no problems.
Yeah, but they burned Milo at the stake.
Right.
Yeah.
He had the wrong kind of politics.
Yeah, wrong politics. That's what it was.
Oh, please, anyone center and right on has the wrong kind of politics.
I just want them to acknowledge their hypocrisy, and I wouldn't be half as mad at them.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen.
That'll be pulling back the curtain. That'll be revealing the bullshit. They're not going to do that. Like, it's just, yeah, we've got a double standard because these people think properly. It's like, oh my God. Like, no, they're not going to say that. It's, I mean, what's his name? God, where the hell were we doing that? Couldn't have been on Comic Book Curation. Yes, it was. It was on last week's Comic Book Curation. We're talking about, it was a Mary Sue article where one of their lead, full on air quotes here, journalists was ripping apart Bret Easton Ellis. I don't know if anyone's ever read Ellis's work. He wrote American Psycho and a whole bunch of other novels. And he's got a podcast. It's pretty popular, does well. I wouldn't call him a conservative. He's more libertarian than anything. You know what I mean? And he...
That's as bad.
Well, right.
That's a Nazi with a snazzier uniform.
He's just, you know, you live your life and government's too big to fit in anyone's bedroom. And, you know, like this is, so he's got the kind of like that libertarian leaning when he talks about social issues and stuff like that. Right. In any case, he's talking about Black Panther, and he's not talking about the film and never mentioned anything about the film itself. He was talking about the reaction around it. It's like all of the progressives in Hollywood were just all too scared to not nominate it as Best Picture of the year. Of course they had to. And trumpet what the intensity of the impact that it had culturally and so forth. And it's like, was it really that good of a film? It's impossible to judge, especially in this town, like meaning in Los Angeles where he's at, in Hollywood. There's no way. It's just, you have to give it that nod, that tip of the hat, because of all black cast, that it was that successful, and that the director and everybody else behind the camera are black, and that's somehow diverse to do that. And it's like, okay, and he makes that point, and that's all he was saying. She ripped into him. The title of the article was like, "Big surprise, another white man disagrees with the celebration around Black Panther." Words to that effect.
Yeah.
It's like, the one thing they didn't mention, and he himself, Ellis, rarely ever talks about, he's gay. He's gay as the day is long. And he lives with his boyfriend. And it's like, yeah, you didn't bring that up. And if he were to bring it up and be like, "You're just homophobic, lady, that's why you came down on me." Like, this progressive game, man, Ellis has too much integrity to bring that up and do it in that way. You know what I mean? But it's just strikes me as funny. I noticed through that whole article, you called him a white man. You brought his politics into it. You brought his upbringing into it. You brought up the books that he's written and how they betray his misogyny, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But never mentioned that he was gay and an advocate for gay rights. Not once.
The inconvenient truths.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn it, why did he have to be gay? It's
oh yeah, it completely screws up their narrative.
Here, let me just write around this inconvenience,
Ignore it.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, ignoring. They tell us to ignore everything that they do. One point I'm going to say, "And who are you?" And that'll hurt their feelings, and I'll go to jail.
Yeah.
When you ask, "Who are you?"
Yeah. Because when you don't acknowledge their celebrity or their power.
Yeah, that's why Brie Larson got so upset. It wasn't really so much that the TSA agent was hit on her, and just thought that she was just some blonde that was coming through. And she was like, "Don't you know who I am?" And she argued that it was a big disrespectful episode to her. Like, what, I can't go through security and not get harassed. And it's like, turns out, like, apparently all he really did was like ask for your number or something. Like, what, he thought you were a pretty woman and did not even recognize that you were the famous actress. You're not, honey. You're not that big. It's
like, was it Reese Witherspoon who flipped her shit on a cop? "Don't you know who I am?"
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, she did. She did do that one.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You make your living in front of a camera, and suddenly that means that you're worthy of some rural cop's notice.
Was it a rural cop too?
Yeah, I think it was not in the city, so to speak.
Gotcha.
It just, "Don't you know who I am? I don't give a shit who you are."
Yeah, you were breaking the law. So
you're a lawbreaker. That's who you are.
That's how cops are supposed to behave. They're not supposed to be targeting people for who they are or what they look like. But oh no, "Don't you know who I am? I'm gonna fuck you up," And it's like,
yeah, like you're a celebrity, and I'm saying that automatically, excludes you from taking responsibility for breaking the law.
Well, if you or I got out of a car and did that to a cop, we'd be in the backseat of the patrol car, being driven down to the jail for threatening a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
But because, dispatch is like, "Oh shit, it's Reese Witherspoon. You got to let her go." Why?
Why not bring it up smoother than that? I don't understand. Why not be like, "I'm on my way to a script reading at this famous Hollywood studio."
How about not bringing it up at all?
Because
there's that possibility. You're just not all that.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, and it's like a huge blow to the ego.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, you ignore them, they're going to call it a hate crime.
You didn't know who I was.
Yeah. Well, Bear apparently is getting ready for his stream, so I think that means it's our cue to break it down. So I guess we'll take, what is it now? 43? Take a few minutes for questions if y'all want questions. If not, we're going to sound off. So ask what you're going to ask, or shut up.
Your congenial host says.
Well,
James Colley says, "Guess what I'm doing? Smoking in my apartment like a real smoker." Yeah, I know. Thanks. I'm a little bit jealous. It's fine.
I'm serious. Is that like the only thing stopping you from having a corn pipe?
A corn pipe.
You know, like one of those things like
oh yeah, I know the kind of like the corn cob pipe. No, I want the
corn cob pipe, but you know, like those pipes in general. Like a nice
little the one that I want to go with the smoking jacket, and I've been looking forward to getting one for a long time. I found out it's called a church warden's pipe. It's the pipe with a really long slightly curved stem. So you can have your hand on the armrest, and you still got the pipe up there, and the smoke doesn't get in your face when you're reading your Sherlock Holmes or whatever you're doing. You know,
they have vape wands that are just like that.
Yeah, but they start to get a little oh shit, what's the word I'm looking for here? The big Persian things with the tobacco and the tubes,
hookah. Like the hookah.
Thank you. They start to look like a hookah. You know, it's got this big central electronic device that you can vape off of. I don't know. It's a little neo hookah.
You'd be like that caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it's except that it'd all be like tech oriented, and reading a book in a smoking jacket's supposed to be old.
I don't think that was tobacco in his stuff right there, man, because he got the clicking every time he took a hit. You know, when you take a hit and all of a sudden you get the clicking, plus you're producing that blue smoke. Like, yeah, you know. You ain't smoking no tobacco, man.
Cutting that super wide smile and shit.
You smoking some good.
Yeah. Probably some hash.
Okay, you know what? I didn't even need to put a fucking car in there this whole time.
Wow, really? All of this effort and you don't need it.
Welcome to the world of Photoshopping. You know what I did? I just copied the screen from the other side, and I was able to paste and fix and change and move stuff over and adjust for color texture, and yeah, it looks like the car just disappeared.
Oops.
Yeah, well, you know,
live and learn.
Well, why do you think I always like doing my Vegas work and my Photoshop work on stream and shit? It's like, while I'm having a conversation, I'm doing this stuff in the background. It would have been, 3 hours wasted, but no, I was having a conversation with good friends and lots of laughs and whatever.
You're a multitasker.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very grateful.
We're glad to know it. Any questions, Tax?
I don't see any, so I think we're gonna start calling it off. Let's see who's on my first list. We'll do the monkey style again. Dorky. Got anything coming up?
Not at the moment. Thanks for asking, though.
There you go. Polly, you're next.
Oh, GPP just put up my channel. Shit. Well, that was very nice of you. And you can actually also get there through just there with Polydub. I claimed the, what do they call it? Personalized, whatever the fuck.
Whatever.
So it's just youtube.com/Polydub.
It's called a domain name?
Well, yeah, but what does YouTube call it? Like when you go into Creator Studio, it's like it's available for you to claim if you want.
Call it sucker money.
Yeah.
No, I didn't pay shit for that. Oh, if they would have wanted money, it would have. No, fuck that. I'll deal with the 28 alphanumeric sequence. That's fine. So anyway, yeah, we do comic book curation over there. You can come on by, and for all of those who know Jack, he does it with us every week, as does Inquisitor, who's hilarious, and we have a good time, great bants, and all sorts of stuff like that. So come on by and check it out.
Very good. Let's see who's next on it. Prospero.
You can find me on Minions of the Zoo on some nights, not every night, but Minions of the Zoo is on every night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Friday night is game night, which is hilarious. Fat Platypus hosts that, and Platty does a great job every Friday. And we alternate hosts, but it's all on the same channel. It's one word, capitalizing each new word. Minions of the Zoo.
Very good. All right, and then finally, but last but not least, your boy Pat. What up?
Yeah, all right, what up now? Yeah, for those who don't know me already, I'm your boy Pat. You can find me on YouTube at your boy Pat. You also see me on Twitter a whole lot, talking a lot of stuff, which I just recently dropped down my latest video that's mentioned over here, talking about Dr. Victoria Bateman and her hairy cooch. And I do many other videos. It's gotten very randomly now. I'm still trying to drop down my next video about I'm doing like a little series about sleepaway camp and that whole entire thing.
I love sleepaway camp.
Oh yeah, man! I dropped down a video almost about a month ago. I need to get that part 2 out.
You're gonna keep doing it, the whole sleepaway camp? series?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's like 4 of them.
Sweet. That's great.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them, and then there's like that jacked up one where they tried to call part 4, but it really isn't part 4.
Yeah,
and it got crazy because it was like Son of Sleepaway Camp and shit like that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I'm getting into that, like, displaying the whole Angela thing, how she became the being, why she started killing the people that she killed. And have you seen that? Have you seen her as of lately, man? Felissa Rose. Man, that woman has aged so goddamn beautifully. It's like, damn.
Yeah, she's very classic, and I like it.
Real, like, you mean like from the original Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah,
Felissa Rose. She's on Twitter, man. She is woo.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, first, I don't know, for a second, I did, like, the name didn't register when you said it. I thought you were talking about Bruce Springsteen's sister.
That was Felissa Rose, and then there was Pamela Springsteen. But they brought her back at Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Yep.
Okay.
The stuff I know.
Yeah, because that part 3, it's like Wikipedia they wrote off as dead, but somehow they managed to bring her back. At first, they were talking about, like, oh, we're bringing back the real Angela, like the real female Angela in the beginning. They tried to say that didn't die, but I'm like, nah, you can't play that off. That's still Peter Baker who's going as Angela now.
Nice.
It's pretty fun stuff. Definitely make a part 2 because those are always fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, with that, we are going to head out because Bear is being an impatient little British cunt. So, everybody say goodbye, and we're going to go.
Have a good night.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, Dax.
Have a great morning.
Happy to have you guys. Bye, guys.
Take care.